Sierra Leone, now we all young. Certain tenant in our country, we can say, oh, I know I mix by politics. I know I forget involved. But you know, remember for say, politics, now something where they inside each and every one of we blood. Every single day, where we dey come out now, do the things that way we they do, the work away with the work in the streets, the thinking, even inside we us, now politics with the play. Even now us with we family them, most of the time we dey play politics, even with we husband sometimes. So we get forget involved in politics. It's very, very important we get involved in politics. So today, I dey beg me famble them. Please, you now join me, you now share this video. Unfortunately, we're not able to do the WhatsApp calling, but you now able for comment and give you now your own 2 cents. And trust me, I go ask them anything when you now ask on the comment section. I promise you that today we all gonna be interactive, okay? Before anything, make I bring in first MYK Berewa. We go can tell we about himself a little bit before we start the video. Hello MYK, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey Francis, how are you? A little tired. I'm here.
Okay, that's good. So God thank you. So my family, and please, you know, share the video and you know make for say, you know, come in, make we all watch together. MYK, how you did it today?
I am good. Praise
Thank
God.
you so much for your patience, freedom patient with me today. Because it's not easy for put something together where, you know, and I'm a boy picking the do. So thank you for your patience. I really, really appreciate it. And MYK, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, me not personally don't like forget too much details about myself. I like when people assume me. I think it's interesting. But for the respect of your audience, I would just say I am a Sierra Leonean American. I was born in Sierra Leone. Salone, I go school, I go Jalloh University. Then later I went to Ghana, Legon. Then I worked in healthcare for 8 years during the reigns of President Nkrumah APC rule. And I migrated here to the United States of America. Adinaya, I get to pick in them, and I did in healthcare. I'm a Christian, a Catholic by faith, and life is good.
That's good. So God thank you. I really, really appreciate your presence today, and then they make me feel really good for seeing you on the screen today. And thank you once again for your patience. But again, as I say earlier on today, right? I'm not gonna bring MYK just by himself today on the screen here. Especially where they can't talk about census. Think about it. Where they can't talk about census and all them fake degree them, where they see they go on now with community. Today, I got the proposal there with me. And I got this surprise guest where even MYK I say has been in the loop with this one. I got a surprise guest now also with me today. Really surprise guest now person where he know the APC party very well, because even in grandpa within the APC party, he was once the president of Sierra Leone. And guess what, in this posse also I get with me, I do a very lovely interview with him recently. And that interview, that if you now listen to him, there's a lot of way come on I do. When I say a lot come out now do, yeah? When I go play that interview, they now all in I go shock. But I dey keep him for stay we ready for pull and I do. And this posse also not person where I go say na my friend. I don't know him for quite a while now. As MYK na my friend as well. You know, in we community, I can always say it's small but it big again. So do you now help me for welcome this other big alejo now we community. And this big alejo also now we community now somebody where I respect very, very much. And this person also now no other person but Mr. Ajibu Jalloh. Hello Ajibu.
Greetings to you, my dear Francis. Greetings to the audience and greetings to Mr. Berewa.
Thank you for joining us today, and I really, really appreciate it. How you do?
I am delighted. I am happy. I am feeling glee, and I'm doing fantastic.
That is good. I'm glad to see you today. Make I actually put we all Ajibu, I want to ask you a question, right? Even though this is not a conversation where they get today. But the question when we go like for ask you now this one today. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Just a little bit no more. As Mr. MIK say, not like for make all that no bottom, like for keep on the corner, maybe people and the guests. But just tell me a bit about yourself, please, sir.
I think to say me and Mr. Berewa share the same idea when he comes on talking about yourself. But of course, Mr. Berewa don't lay the blueprints, so I will just follow that blueprints there. Of course, Ajibu Jalloh migrated to the United States back in 1986. That's a while ago. Attended the Albert Academy in the United States. Went to the Ohio State University. Have a background in agribusiness and applied economics. Worked in supply chain management for a number of years as in management. Then proceed on to Longwood University. Did finance. Before that, returned back home where I worked as national coordinator, political and public affairs in the Ministry of Political and Public Affairs. Then became deputy government spokesman, and then eventually government spokesman up until when we lost elections. I've been a lifelong APC member. You spoke about my grandfather, who was one of the first executive presidents of Sierra Leone, also the first leader and chairman of the party APC, a public figure, and that's me.
That's fantastic. It's good for. I see Mike the smile on the side over there, really. Where Ajibu they talk about himself. Mike, I tell you, say, right? I'm going to come for you. And I
it's interesting. Interesting way you bring and come. Yes. Because it's like I know say Agibu gets an insightful conversation with him.
Absolutely.
There are things I'm going to learn from him, and we learn from each other both ways. So this is a rich platform. So
thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
At the end of the day, I just believe knowledge is power. And one thing where at the Sinawi community, we they talk, but we not really they do the action. So with me today, I said to myself, we need for talk and with actions. And there's no way I go bring MYK just on your own, where they can bully me with just SLPP then conversation. No matter what I go say, I'm not able for do my best because it go overpower me with SLPP conversation. So I said to myself, who is a better match for actually match MYK with? And trust me, my brother Ajibu, now APC himself man, and imagine now before my presidential spokesman. So guess what? He's knowledgeable as well with everything where they go on. But my brother them, I love you now all too, and thank you so much for showing up today for me. And please kindly ask everybody where they watch the program today, please share this program. And don't forget to press the like button on my page and the subscribe button too. Because guest waiting, this na salon business. Everything where we they do na salon business. And this na in a girl, Frances K, the Calabash princess as I call myself. So today, we can talk about this censor. Where this censor yaso, now in they don't take for beats we up. Online right now. Everybody, they talk about censor. Everywhere where you go, they talk about this censor. And this fake university degrees them where we get now with community. We all term number fake university degree. All the doctors that way we get now with community them. Then so boku. But we just find out for say, some of them not fake. So we can't talk about them two things and today. And who then are the better people if we can talk about them than the Vuvuzela them. So dear at the beg, share this video and can give comments them below because the WhatsApp they make the video echo. So at this moment we're not able to put the WhatsApp through, but guest waiting. Or possibly, if you call, I can able for put them on speakerphone, then we can able for listen to what you get for say. I think that might work again. So if you call, I will give you the number way for call. And we'll see, I can for put on speakerphone and we all be able for listen to what you get for say. And me your name na Francis and the number na 917-600-4044. I will type an in for you now, so we can able for talk together and then we can get a conversation. But before we go further, Uncle MYK, this na in a government, right? Now in a pull the censor. Let's start with the census first. Now in a pull the present censor where we get na Sierra Leone. How you see that censor there? I got to ask you a question. How you see that continent? How you think for say it good or it not good? My first question.
I don't understand what you mean. How I see the census? Is that your question?
Yes. How you see the censor? What's not your take on the censor? How you see them? It good or it not good?
Well, first of all, I want to believe say even Agibu will agree with me. Say census is always good for a country because let's try to understand what's the census. It's a collecting, analyzing, and interpretation of a national data. Then data then the nine government they use for allocate resources, for determine which community more deprived, which community need this, which community need that, and for make sure say we get an equitable distribution of services, support at every level. You know, even the decentralization. We government talk about governments are able to get a good decentralization platform or a good decentralization working if you not get a data. So census is always good. But to come with the census, this is a midterm census. Why is it a midterm census? You find out say we census the nobody gets a Sierra Leone. We not be really detailed in a sense. We get a lot of areas them we are in will not be get data on. For instance, yesterday no more alone, the International Migration Office, Sierra Leone, the IMO, pull a report say Sierra Leone get the data on migration. You will find out even some of the Sierra Leoneans some overseas. We don't know how many Sierra Leoneans and they overseas within a country. Then data, then all data will be very important because if we even talk about let diasporans begin vote, the first thing we have to start off. Let's have a data of how many diasporans are in the United States, how many Sierra Leoneans are in Germany, how many Sierra Leoneans. So census is a very, very good thing. And this particular census, why make it good? Because it's computerized. Like catastrophe census then do. It is computerized. It's like a give it in-depth details. It's a population and housing census. It check people them always sick na you host. How many people then get hypertension? How many people then don't get Belen at that host day? How many people picking and day? How many picking and go school? How many picking and nursery school? So it's not just counting heads. It's also counting specific variables in that house. Because if you want to determine a community, if you want to build a health post by community, if you want to know the health status of a community, if you not able to know how many Bella women don't die in that community, how you able to know which midwife for Sunday? How many midwives for Sunday? If there is a need for like you even get a maternity home day, if there is a need for like you get a pediatric hospital day, a pediatric clinic day. So this census factor into the SLPP's midterm development plan. Because what the kind of power, the first thing we'll try for we develop what we call a midterm development plan. Waiting for achieve within midterm. And waiting we want for do for Sierra Leone because we believe say the president believes say the only way was Sierra Leone go better now where you would need know the needs of Sierra Leoneans. And this census also gives a picture for what we know say Freetown is not Sierra Leone. You know, a lot of times people look Freetown say now Freetown now they will for do everything. I agree, it's the capital city, it's the face of our country. Now they force you to come before you. Everything has to start there. But when you want to talk about development, when you want to talk about decentralization, when you want to talk about equitable distribution of and fair distribution of resources, Sierra Leone resources, you go back now upline. You go to the rural people. Because these are the people who pay taxes, these are the people who follow laws, these are the people who are deprived. What they walk in at this country, these are the people who are hit harder than any other person. When poverty they come, these are the people who suffers most. Where Ebola come, these are the people who die more. Where COVID come, these are the people who hit more. So when it comes to resources, these are the people who need more. So this government believes in that. President Bio believes in that. That's his ideology. He believes that every Sierra Leonean matter. It no matter who say you there. It no matter if na city you there. It no matter if na upline you there. It no matter if na Makere you there. It no matter if na Bumbuna you there. It no matter if na Potloko carry there. It no matter if na Palaba you there. You are a Sierra Leonean. Your vote matter. And every resources so Sierra Leone gets, you forget them. That is why the census we do them. And that is why international partners and support them. They believe say it's good. That is why they supported it. That is why they get fund for it. So it's not something we have to debate about. We don't have to. Francis, I will tell you, the only reason why APC is against the census is because they feel say SLPP they use the census for political reasons. But political reason is not only the reason for a census. You look at, if you want to know how many maternal mortalities are in a community, you have to do a census on that. You want to build schools, you know how many classrooms you for building a school, you have to do a census on that. This country should be data driven. We cannot allocate our resources. Development cannot move to the common people if you don't have a data on it. So I believe some brothers will agree with me on that. See, census is good. It is not something we have to debate on. It is good for Sierra Leone. Every developing country gets what they call a census, and that's the way countries develop.
Okay, Mike, we actually like what you don't say right now. And thank you, the way we don't analyze everything. We understand you well and clear, one. And I just have to remind both of you now for say, you now get 2 minutes maximum for bringing a point up. Because if not, everybody will get bored with today. But Mike, I'm glad the way you don't say, you don't talk about your points and you don't bring and come out. You don't talk about the data where you think say they use computer and a data system where we get for come into later on. And you said the census was actually acceptable by international bodies. We'll get for come into that as well later on. But before we go back to you, make I bring me brother Cam when Uncle Ajibu. As I can call him, because I saw me picking and I used to call Uncle Ajibu. Uncle Ajibu, make I actually come to you, right? What do you think say about the census where we get in Sierra Leone right now? What's your own take about it?
Well, thank you very much. Given the conditions, the situations, and the environment as presented by my brother, Mr. Mike, you can see, say, Mr. Mike, now a very fine politician. He speaks with adroitness, and it's quite flourishing in the manner we put him. And I like where he end them say, the APC on the other end, they look at him a little different from what it really is. Indeed, all what he explained about census not true. Census na an official count or survey of a population, and that of course helps the government in power for equitably allocate resources. You talk about schools, you talk about hospital, you talk about markets. These are all essential things, and you need for no side people in there. It's been said that poverty is being attracted most of the time because of the perplexing juxtaposition of the people and the resources. The mortal man, the population, then they are the resources either no day or a day ubayanda. Then the resources not get person for go to, then the person not get resources for make you go to, then they create problem. So certainly a census will make you know who side the people in there, such that you be able to bring the resources to them for benefit them. So which is what he explained, that's true. However, he talk about waiting APC see. APC indeed believes say this census is politically motivated. APC believes so, and not just believes so anymore, but they believe so looking at the facts we surround them. When you look at the procedure way for FALA, we want to bring a census, let alone a midterm census. Census is normally done once every 14 years. Here we're looking at a midterm census. Well, one will ask a question, say, what in do? Okay, fine. Maybe you remember say there's some distortion in the last census will happen. I'm sorry, census is done once every 10 years. You may say there is some distortion in the last census, so because of that, you need to do some other census. But when lay paper, the instrument where they give the census, the respect and the command, Liam na parliament, also for Liam, when the people them are being represented. You move ahead to go to step 3, 4, and 5, do step 1 and 2. Then person go begin worry. When you look at doing a census at the end of your term, you only left 1.5 years before you end your term. Then you say you want to do census. It sound like say now you ain't got they keep company. You know exactly say now you they come back the next time. You don't know that. So ideally, not to the right time for do census. So that and the fact that we'll not be even ready, we'll not be prepared in terms of training the people away for engagement this census. They also tell you say this census here now be a computerized census, not to the manual one will be to do. So therefore it's something new, a novelty. You need for train people them. So all of that require time. So the alacrity and the speed with which they come for bring this census give an inclination for saying, this is not quite genuine. Even when the one day where they help we, more like World Bank, where they provide the funding for we, for able for actually get any kind of census there. So say, we not believe say when I get sufficient time for actually train people them and able for do an effective and credible census. So when I stop. When we not agree stop, then say, well, we they pull with money there because we need to go engage by a fruitless endeavor. But we still continue with the census. So that one they kind of, I might be wrong, I don't know, but it kind of give the inclination for say this census was politically motivated. So that now APC imposition. And as it is now, the census don't come on, we find out say you get more people in Kenema than you get in Freetown. I I left that on you.
Okay, Ajibu. Actually, I like how you come out with them. So right now, it's like I left and give you. Cause and you finish off and say we get more people because that was the next way I'll be the canto really. Because it's like to me, we get more people in Kenema than people even inside Freetown. Because Kenema and Bo get more population than Freetown where now are the capital city. According to what we know say Freetown, Sierra Leone, now are the capital city of every country of Sierra Leone. And also we know for say Freetown, now that we get all the embassies them. Now that we get the seaport. Now that we get most of the livelihood inside Sierra Leone. I'm not saying all, but majority. And usai ever where you get things like that, now the population can be more. But with this, we present census where we just see where come out. According to Theo, it actually come up for say, Freetown gets less population and Bo and Kenema gets more population. So that means to say we need more hospitals, more everything, more MPs, a lot of different things inside Bo and Kenema. So MYK Berewa, make I bring you come back now the screen, right? Right there. And I want to make we actually talk about this right now. Why is it that according to the census, where Theo just pull come out, when a APC and SLPP get them, right? Not APC and SLPP. Sorry for say that word. When a SLPP political party pull the census right now, Union Party, he say, and Ajibu just said the same word, he say, Freetown gets less population than Bo and Kenema. Explain to we how they happen, please.
Well, this is why I say we society very lazy, because there's a lot of things you can throw in there. People don't they try for decipher, try for know the facts, and know within a tool. First of all, I want you to understand. Say Freetown, no, Kenema no boku pass Freetown. That's a fallacy. That's not a fact. And for even say that differences, because Freetown it's divided into two. You get rural Freetown and you get urban Freetown. If you join them two, then they together, then population, you get an increase of what? 49.2% from the 2015 census. This is a fact. You don't get what I mean?
Yeah,
so APC lack for run with narratives.
Hold on.
They're not trying to tell people them say, oh, rural Freetown, can people in Kenema and Bokupas urban Freetown. People in Akenema, Bokupas, who are Freetown, and just throw them out there and say Freetown. When you take the population, me, I like to talk with facts. You take the population of Freetown. Let's go back there, Francis. Let me just pull this up, if I can pull it up. When you take the population for Freetown, this 2021 census, when Western area, you get the 2015, you get 1,055,964. Then in 2021, what are Western area urban? You get 607. Then Western area rural, you get 662. When you add them two populations, then you find out say the total population of Western area pass Kenema district. It bet Kenema as a whole. So let's try for establishing facts in there. Then the other thing I want to let people understand here is, Francis, there was a lot of reasons why, if the numbers are shaky, the numbers then reflect, the numbers are like this, where me and you for no say these are the factors, these are the predisposing factors. One, Agibu will agree with me, say, but the same as APC, then say let people don't go out for votes. They told their supporters not to go out to be counted. This was from top, not like then say. This was from top. The APC pulled a press release, said that them asked their supporters not to be counted. The parliament, the parliamentarians and go to the constituencies and tell people them say, let them not come out, let them count them. We had audio visuals of people where they tell people them say, let them not come out, let them count them. Enumerators then go to the communities and then the cabinet day. We have videos to that. This is a fact. You say Francis no say you see video like that. Agibu say for my brother always do I know say he see videos like that. So at the end of the day, if the people them Nabo and Kenema then come out then count them, the people that want the strongholds, Kaila and Bon, Kujan Moyamba come out and count them. Then the people that are Kaine or other places, Western area almost in a predominantly APC stronghold, decide say this census is a sham. I am not gonna come out for let them count me because Diana Kumamani don't say let them not count me. Yansanen say let them not count me. Cherry Coco say let them not count me. So I don't believe in the census. This is a national drive. This is a national project. You can go ahead. Not so at the end of the day, there are more people who are counted than people who are not counted. So if the results come out, this is reflective of the situation. And even as that, what did this government do, Francis? After the first census on the 31st of December 2021, when the census end, what happened? They even do a mopping up. People then call and say, me, they don't count me, or they don't reach now. They did 3 mopping ups. They went back, now the communities, then back for let them count. And the thing what we need to understand about census, Francis, is this. It is who say you sleep and then they count you. Not who say you day. Now try for the establishment facts there to viewers. So if you go sleep out, who say them you meet today, now that also then they count you. Who say you go if it's travel go upline, who say you there if you go walk, now then they count you. So even during the 2015 census, the reason also where you go take a look at say from the north, there was a lot of people like the Potloko areas. There was a lot of people who emerged from that. There were a lot of mining companies in that area. A lot of mining companies where we get thousands of people that will be the work day. The mining companies are not there again. Most of them people that don't migrate back, go to their communities that most of them come up from. So there is a lot of factors. Then when you go take a look at this census, say a reflective, of course, even in America now here. Me and you then at this country, Agibu will agree with me, say, even when they do census at this country, not everybody then they count to. Not everybody then they count. So man said not even know say they don't do census from here. But at the end of the day, it's a representative population. That is what is called statistics. It's not like everyone is going to be counted. The population is going to be reflective of the present situation. When I say 7.5 million, you feel say an exact 7.5 million people and then as alone. Now, it's even less or even more. But this is reflective. This is a data where we're able to use and reach out with resources to the people that may matter. Make allow me, brother, for coming inside.
Okay, MYK. I'm glad you said make we allow me brother for come inside because I try my level best not for really like get into interrupt the conversation because it's very, very important. And we also then they get phone call them where they come in too. And people and they call in and they want for give their own opinion as well. So MYK, I'm glad the way you don't come up with all this one the way you come up with so. But I believe as the Ajibu they listen to you attentively. So Ajibu, what's now your take on what MYK say right now? Because he said a lot of things. But one of the things the way he talk about now about the midterm census where he say this one way then do so now because the population people are side well the two way me pick really where I be really one for your reform where I don't know what you say about it as well. He said now outside people then sleep that next day. I really pick up on that day. All what he say, but I was very keen with that one. According to what he say for the census, now outside people then sleep that next day. Now they didn't do the census. But according to what me understand and what me know so far, Facebook and WhatsApp, then they're all over the place right now. So if the next way then they do census, we get all that kind of population they run for go now upline. WhatsApp for me to me for say, hey, see we all man they drive they go upline right now for me they go concern a census outside and day. And which program the way be they take place that next day for make all man come out free tongue for go then a upline and turn in a boat and kenema. So me, I don't know. I'm not sorry if I come back to MYK for make it explain that to we. Because with this debate, I want to be very, very neutral inside. But I pick up on that the way he say, outside people then they sleep, now they then they count them. But again, me get evidence them, we show for say, people them, even inside Freetown, they not count them they. People then they inside Freetown, where be they wait for count, where me don't talk to na phone. Where are they try for bring them come inside this WhatsApp conversation, or maybe they go able for call in. I make I be really want me the WhatsApp they work today. Where they wait for making them can count them na Freetown, and they not be able for count them. So I pick them up very clearly. So Ajibu, I don't know where you pick up MYK in conversation, but I'll pass this over to you right now.
That part the way you talk about came out very poignant. I read on the way you say, all man outside you sleep, na they count you. And certainly, na the modus operandi down there. But then you go further for say, if you sleep out, so you go sleep out, na they then go count you. For say, na kene maimbu, na they all define human in day, na they all man go sleep out that next day. Because Mr. Berewa give we figures them, and figures don't lie. I agree, 1 + 1 are 2, God save name for change them. But at the end of the day, you go agree with me, say the census figures them data within Giwi reduce the population in the western area, both rural and urban, by about 400,000.
Yep.
By about 400,000. So now the question that begs is, then 400,000 day, now the net before census, now in then left for go upline. I mean, if you get 400,000 people where they left, let me make them half of that safe. Say 200,000 people where they left for go upline. How did they pass? I mean, whose boss where they carry them go? Whose train where they carry them go? I mean, for let 200,000 people move from one district to the other. Well, I think to say now a significant movement down there. Down there, AYV for cover them. Down the SLBC for cover them. That cannot go unseen or unnoticed. It's not possible.
But that's not the only factor, bro. That's not the only factor. The other factor where you did swear from is people refuse to be counted.
I'm coming there.
Okay.
I agree. I'm coming there. And that's a good point. I agree with you. I'm coming there. But then you also talk about the fact that APC allege them, advise, then subjects them, never participate. And that now because of how you call the census. You call them a sham. What you explained just now, you say now a sham, we consider a sham. It was considered a sham, and so based on that, we advise with people that they cannot be involved, participate, or countersign any sham action. But for all intents and purposes, let us say because people then decide, say, they know they participate. So what you go do? You go just fake figures? If you fake figures, is that a correct representation of outside the population there? Does that not defeat the purpose? Now where you go allocate resources now on facts. So if people do not participate, it means that the process itself cannot go on. It means that at the end of the day, you're not able to do what you need for do. So it defeats the purpose. You not go say because una say una no they come, well fine, with the assigned number to una. Then it just defeats the purpose, because then all what you do not make sense at the end of the day. You want facts for make you able for properly allocate government resources, make you identify what are the problems here, what are the problems there, and what is specifically needed. Well, if person not agree for participate, then you don't have anything to go by. But then you say, well, I cannot get something for go by, I go decide and suggest something. Then the whole purpose is defeated. You know, so that's my position there.
Let me come in, Agibu. I don't know where you came up with this saying they cook up facts. This is on an APC shared point. This now on a optics semona they go and share to people, say they cooked up facts. This is a computerized system. I want to let you understand, say, if APC really now sober party way believe, say, people them I call them cook figures. You can do a random sampling, Agibu. You can call for this data and choose any random sampling in any house and say, okay, because this is a computerized thing. This is not within a Google app. This is the same system and model they use in Botswana, they use in South Africa. Now Kenya give with them this model. 200,000 computers where you know they even able to put in the figures or any data if you are 20 meters off from that house where you go. You know this. So there is no way you can cook it. It's synchronized directly into the hub systems of what? Statistics here. My brother, you feel say all the census way they do. World Bank is not only the organizations where they support the census. UNDP support them. One Pan-African organization, one African support them. It was just that World Bank was the highest donor. And the reason why they pull out from the census, they not pull out from the census because they say it's not needful. They pull out from the census, just like you rightly said, because they wanted the enumerators them to have more training. But Statistics Sierra Leone say, we have done the training, we believe in what they need to cover, and World Bank say, well, we can give this money for that. But later they give another money.
So before we go further,
hold on.
Me point. Let me just learn, Agibu. So my point is, I did not say people migrated from Freetown upline. I did not say that. When they look at the data, when they look at the shifts in the data, when they look at the factors them way in census where you collect the data, there are a lot of factors where you take into context and consideration. Migration factor is one. This was done.
I am not saying.
Let me come in. This was done. And the last day of the census was WatchNet. It was December 31. Was the last day of the census. But could people then don't go offline?
Make it actually come in.
Let me land waiting said. Then we don't go offline. But could people that free time? You know, say for the free time, we will go offline for holiday or go offline for that. I'm not saying that is a major factor.
Okay.
The major factor here is what you people are swaying from.
Francis, hold on. This was a point of order. I was on my legs, and then he wanted to explain something. So that's fine. Fine. I get your explanation correctly. Now, I have never said that you say people they move. But at the end of the day, the data we then present to we indicate say 400,000 people. The population we will get from the last census. Now, Freetown is reduced by 400,000. So
because they refuse to be registered.
But hold on, the population increase now. The southeast. So what
because
I am saying, so they want to over register. They register.
No, they're not over register. That make I tell you.
Well, how they not go?
They went out. The MPs, the SLPP MPs went out in their communities and educated their people to come out and register. Then tell them
So more
Okay,
people come
before
on
we
and enter.
actually go, make her actually
Yes.
come in between, also right now. So make her actually take a caller and make we are waiting this caller self they say because I want make it be an interactive program. Caller, who say you the call from and what's now your name, sir?
Yeah, Mina Ezekiel. I recall when I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, United States.
Hi Ezekiel, thank you very much for calling. What's now your contribution today, sir?
I want to first thank you and the panelists there. And I'm so impressed with the civility and how, and this is actually what political discussions, of course, should be about. We don't need to be enemies or at each other's throats. I want to talk about this census way, not the issue right now. In the first place, I want to lay the premise. Was the census itself legal as per we law books then as Jalloh? The answer there is yes. As per the Census Act of 2002, it states clearly that the president can call census from time to time. And from time to time, interpretation, particularly in a case where from the primary census, we are able to identify gaps then, we need for be closed before the second primary census. So that's not one of the things. Then the second reason where I see clearly on this thing, on this census, now that from the last census of 2015, Statistics Sierra Leone began to identify a number of flaws in that statistics, especially when we all know say it was manually done. And when they discovered then huge discrepancies, it not tap to them. They reach out to the experts who become help with the 2015 census. In fact, now UNFPA now in actually found for make the expert come to Salon, can look at the work and see what he will advise. And based on the expert what he see, then discover that nearly 60%, about 59% to be exact, of the data, particularly that we get for do with the type 3 enumeration area, it was completely flawed. So what he decide, he advised them that they need to go back, at the field. So imagine where you don't get like 60% of the work that is really, really faulty, and you have to go back and do it. So they come out with the idea then, why can't we do a census that will capture the information there at the midterm, since the Constitution make provision for that. That's point number 2. And the point number 3 where I noticed is that, make I just explain that part, where by statistics, the standard, which we don't call our enumeration area. Now, anywhere we fall within the threshold of 80 to 120 households. So, for the type 3, we didn't get this problem. When they go, and this likely happen in the provinces, they'll be noticed that some villages they not make up to 80 or above households. So they just blend them all for make up to about 120. And now what happened was they not be able to provide specific data for them villages then where they amalgamate with the other villages then. So meaning that it was just an en bloc information about an enumeration area where they create out of several villages, which was a different case when it comes to Freetown. Freetown being the under type 2, which now it comprised one or more enumeration areas. That was an easy thing. But now the question of why the difference in the figures this time from that of the 2015. Some people, they look at the population density as opposed to waiting don't come out. But I want to tell you for a fact, Calabash, that if you and me been the listening from Salon, this is not the most unfortunate part of the politics this time around. We really rob the citizens of their civic responsibilities. We notice that politicians, when they're in the opposition, then take opposition for mean rebellion at this time around. Because they not only rebel against government, but they rebel against the citizens. Then go ahead for tell the people, citizens, not for participate. When are they democratic and the constitutional rights. If you look at the Constitution chapter 3, it has a whole column of about 10 areas where they talk about the civic responsibility of a citizen. Then politicians that we read them, where they go all over the place, they tell their young supporters for make them not participate, make them not allow themselves to be counted.
Okay.
That one they get a very huge effect on this.
Thank you very much, caller. You don't call and we don't put your points across and you don't really pass your mark right now, the limited time where we go forgive you. But we really appreciate you suggestion them and we appreciate where you call. Thank you very much, we caller from Missouri. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, Uncle Ajibu, Uncle MYK, are you waiting the caller say?
Yeah, let
we thank
Agibu go
the caller
ahead.
very much.
We thank him very much for the call. So, Uncle Ajibu, Uncle MYK, so make you go ahead because this caller we call clearly you go for say is part of the SLPP party. And
No, we're not judging. No,
I'm just saying because it actually
you have to stay neutral. You have to stay
I'm being very
here.
neutral right now. I'm being very
Right,
neutral.
so must
But the
say
thing
he's
is,
a citizen. Must say
no,
that.
he's a citizen
You
of
must
Sierra Leone. But the
Right,
way we
so no
actually
problem.
talk about the census, you can clearly self say he support one party. It not really open up in a different way. But me, I like to be very honest. So I will actually pass some go to Uncle Ajibu and wait to get for say Uncle Ajibu. You get 3 points.
Certainly,
then.
for me, I say I'm like a concerned citizen.
Yeah.
Because this issue of having the correct census, the correct data, it's primordial, a cardinal importance to the progress of a country. You know, there are times for be political, there are times for stop politics and go into governance and look at things from an objective lens. And I think to say this is about the time we look at things from an objective lens. Young people as we are the leaders of that country tomorrow. And if we allow things for be bent, we allow things for be crooked, it means we'll have to spend a lot more resources, a lot more time for getting together. So it is imperative that we look at this from an objective standpoint. I don't tell you how the APC see them. I don't give you the evidences we make the APC tell in people and say, we're not involved in this because na sham. The timing was off. Who goes into a census where you left 1 year to you end of your term? You get for spend 6 months first for the campaign. So why do you want to do that? Why do you want to spend that kind of a money? Indeed, the Constitution gives the president the right at any time for call for census. But census costs money that we don't have. And so therefore, if you get for divert resources to census, you must be very judicious. You must able for back down and up and explain why you need for do am. Mr. Berewa, my brother here himself tell you say the World Bank, when are the biggest donor for all of this? The World Bank, the biggest donor for all of this, and World Bank now then therefore provide funding for programs them where they reduce poverty. Then say we not believe say when I get sufficient time for train the people them where they use them computer they also. So as such, when I give ourselves more time, we insist as a government say no, we do them in this time frame. World Bank had no alternative for say, well, we know they can't owe money, then pull their money come on inside. I think to say a clear indication now they for say, I mean, it was a fruitless endeavor. My brother Mr. Berewa talk about the fact that Statistics Sierra Leone say no, we are well trained and we're ready to go. Well, if the process now be a novelty, now something we new, we not ever use computer, okay, with the brain account for the first time, then wouldn't our Statistics Sierra Leone for say we don't get the training we need? Where the one that we don't begin use them, don't begin monitor how they are being used in other countries, them, the East African countries, them, even the Kenya outside come on. They know how much time it take for study. They know how much time it take for make you understand them very well. Here we are with a very new product, a very new software. Okay, we say in such quick time, people they don't sabi. And evidence day now for say then computer then still in a people hand where they're not running it. So how do you have all the information that you're supposed to have? Because people hold on back because they're not paid any money. Okay, they're not running it. We go further. Mr. Berewa talk about the fact that now computerized system, so as such it is sophisticated. But computer, what you put inside, now they come out. There's a shit in, shit out, not so sir. So the computer is fine, It allow you for perform calculations in nanoseconds. It take huge amount of information and compute them with the algorithm where they inside. It give you the answer where you want to guide away. But that does not mean that the computer go understand where somebody take an iPad and not go count. The computer not go register if you not put the right figure inside. The computer not go register if the person sit on house, you not go no side. Certainly not. And these are things that were brought out to our attention. Let me make one more point, if you could allow me. You talk about the margin of error, meaning that they count all man. Some of these things are assumed, and I agree with you in statistics. Certainly, you get figures, then where you look at, you say that this statistically it's significant, so I know what you down there. But when you do then counting there, you get a margin of error where you go say plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 2%, could be right or wrong. Go back and tell us what's the margin of error. They go for tell you say this data we then collect, they not collect them appropriately. The how then computer not compute appropriately, and the people able to participate not fully participate. So therefore, the whole process of itself is invalid.
Okay.
All right. Let me just
Thank
come
you
in
very much for your contribution, Ajibu Jalloh. MYK, just 1 second. Before we go further, I actually just want for enlighten with people on Facebook for say yes. When I say people for call, I mean call and give you point across. The call call, that person I didn't follow for a while, really. I wouldn't say I know him, but I think I don't follow him for a while. Yes, he is a concerned Sierra Leonean, but the reason why I say, is a SLPP link we don't call right now is because I'm waiting for someone from the APC party as well for call. We're going to actually give you your contribution as well. But the one thing when we want for access, because the caller actually bring a very valid point, where he come up about the censor, where he say, according to our law book in Sierra Leone, right, the censor was valid. But again, the censor where we get through, did he actually go through the legal process of the constitution in Sierra Leone? And was it actually approved by Parliament? That question there, the brain come in, and I go like for make MYK actually answer we first, please.
All right. Let me just get a reboot out from my learned friend, what he just mentioned. It come with some points some way mentioned. Say one, they talk about the computer, the hardware, and then some people in hand because statistics here will not pay them. So how did they come up with these figures? I mean, are they expect my brother for know that say? I mean, that's just a hardware. It's like the software is synchronized into the hub of statistics here.
No, they not put stats inside. They're not inside the data.
No. Well, you don't know that. You are assuming.
They're not inside the data.
So you let
plenty people and they might will say they not count them.
No. Well, yeah, people say that. And who are these people? These are people who
are the people in the one not count them. Mike, when they count you, they mark that you host. Go on a salon, what can it make you see marking there that people host them?
Yeah, but Agibu, the fact here is, me and you go agree here, see. We've seen videos wherein they molested them, beat enumerators them. Then they grab them in communities inside Freetown, inside the northern strongholds of APC.
Agree.
So
therefore, not get data.
So if that not get data, is that going to stop government's project? Is that going to stop the census from going?
It will skew the result.
No, it will not
skew the result, the outcome.
Because you know why you're not going to skew the result? Census is always a representation of the people. The more people we are counted, it is a fact. More people we are counted than the people who are not going to refuse to be counted. More people we are counted.
In one breath, you are saying that a huge amount of people refuse to be counted because they advise them otherwise. Now
you tell me huge amount of
counted. How?
Yeah, it's not a huge amount. I don't know how you measure that, Agibu, but it's not a huge amount of people who refuse to be counted. It was just unscrupulous people from other political party who mislead the people, say let them not go out for counting. All right, for argument's sake.
No, wait, Mr. Berewa. You say the data flawed. The data flawed because people were advised otherwise. Let not participate.
I did not say.
So therefore, the amount of people who participate should be significant.
I did not say. I did not say the data.
For the flawed data.
No, I did not say that. Don't put words in my mouth. I said. You people said the data was flawed. You people said
yes. And your justification now Your justification was the fact that
how you call it?
we advise people otherwise.
Okay, for argument's sake, that's why I said, you people said the data was flawed. You people said it was a sham. But you were the same people who are not even mind the census. Because you were the same people who said your people should not be counted. You were the same people who said people should not participate in the census. This is key in this argument.
Why? Yes, indeed.
Now,
why?
Why? Now, the moderator not hover on that. Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a candid question, Agibu. Do you think the advice from APC, telling their supporters not to participate in the census, was counterproductive? Do you think it was?
I'm coming with that question. Not yet, MYK.
No, hold on. No, I want to ask Agibu. No, wait, hold on.
I'm coming with that question. That is a question I'm coming with at my own time, please. No, I'm coming with that question, and that question is coming at the right time.
You can come with the other way around. But I want my brother ask me to answer this question directly in my face.
Okay, please, let me answer that. Let me answer that, please. Let me answer that, please.
Yes, Agibu.
Indeed.
Because you have a fiber of nationalism in you that I can't take away from you. Even though you are political, your argument is politically based. But do you think that was ill-advised or that was just telling people not to partake in their fundamental civic responsibility to be counted?
We are
you advise people not to?
We are in the opposition, okay? And as such, now we business for make sure say the people in governance dot their I's and cross their T's. Because we see some amount of yuki, because we see a movement we're politically motivated, we say we not go endorse that, we not go countersign that, we not go sit down and allow something like that for go forward. Meaning that if we ask for people to not participate in such a sham act, it will not go forward. But the administration decides say whether they participate or not, we're going forward. So at the end of the day, the results where you get not a qualified and proper representative of the population of Sierra Leone. So
because
therefore,
you sabotage the process.
The whole intention, you don't defeat the purpose.
No, you
now one will ask the question. Why one would ask the question? What thing will be?
Okay, let me ask you. Why didn't you follow through?
I'm like Berewa. I think let me actually take a call where they try for call in and make we actually waiting themselves get for say in this one. Because at the end of the day, we want to get involved with the public as well. Waiting on your name and what's you the call from, sir?
My name is Keta. I come from Salon.
Hi, Keta. How you do today, sir? Thank you for calling very much. What's your contribution?
My contribution is very simple. First, I don't know, a presenter or moderator. You do something very wrong in the first place. Now you are the anchor of the program. Person go call where you don't in opinion. You talk saying accept the person.
I actually responded to that earlier on. I understand that, sir. Thank you for correcting it.
Thank you. I understand. So you don't understand that. This census, this entire census result of census outcome, the person that is the wait for the one like come also. How comes 2015 census from the D1, SNDP was against it, the management, how they set an up, how they rush, SNDP right best this past 30-10. APC never take us serious. They say they're not serious. At the end of the day, when the results come up, the UNFPA, UNDP, UNICEF, they say 60% of the census result was hooked up. Now they are not. When it give advantage of APC by then, when we get APC MP, the way they get 4,000 votes till the Parliament. We get APC MP, the way they get, even get 4,000 votes against CP MP. Akayila or Kenima, we get 16 to 17,000 votes. When in one grade, your population 16,000, it cover 4 MPs that APC. So they do that all the SNDP not talking that thing, they go to the election, they conduct the election. When the census don't can up, okay, the constitution, not everybody will tell you say the president all right. Not going to tell you say the president is on the track. The still not start, don't go to the say what back they pull out. All power they put in the country. They follow what the country they do, and they don't want the country to be us. APC like to the letters, they therefore withdraw. But even the very day of the whether they call the result, whether they call the census result, a World Bank said representative, UNICEF said, even the FPS said, they were here. They began to the people the way they did. So for talk say the census is not credible, or it's not all census that the world and the country. But 2015 I was not counted. But I don't say the result was also credible for me because that's what they say they get. So when at the initial stage, when I already talk say we already partake by the census, when I call on people in inside money the left America, they call it
Okay, you found the breakup, sir. But I want to ask a question, sir, before we go.
So there is one thing. Let me come. There is one thing when I wanted from 2004 to 2015 census of APC conduct. This east of the country always get population past western area combined.
Exactly.
Okay, sir. I agree you, sir. But you time done right now because I give 2 minutes for the calls them. And before you go, sir, you say on 2015 you were not counted. So whose area will you be there where they not be able to count you 2015, sir? Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I was never counted.
Okay.
I don't say the census was legal because the president pronounced that at the end I was messed up.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the call, sir. Thank you. Okay, that was another concerned Sierra Leonean we just called from Freetown. As you see, I tell people them you not call. You not call and give you your own point across. Because everybody they call and give you your own point across. So I agree with you now. They write down there, they see you now in front of my screen and everything as well. But what thing I get for say next, MYK, we don't get the two callers that we don't call right now. And everybody they actually try for say the census is legal. But I ask this question where you not agree for answer me, the two of you now. And MYK, I see they ask a lot of questions them. But I ask this question, yeah, so where both of you not answer this question. And I carry it back. And according to the census where we just get, right? Do you guys think that the censor went through the right process in Sierra Leone? Did he actually go through the due process in Sierra Leone? Now, you don't answer the question is, because according to where the census starts, the World Bank actually withdrew.
Okay.
The World Bank withdrew from this census we just happened to Sierra Leone. And Mike, 1 second, please. So I want for no, I just ask this question to the both of you now. Did this census went through the due process in Sierra Leone? It's very important. It's as simple as that. It's not about going up, coming down, or going the other way around. Would I first go through this one for make I go actually go through for
Mike, okay, let me answer this one.
Okay, Ajibu say one for answer first. Make Ajibu go through first. Did the censor went through the right process of this one? Ajibu, go on.
We make something crystal clear, perfectly clear. The Constitution recommends that we do census once every 10 years. The Constitution also gives the president the power and mandate and authority for call for a census when and how is he necessary. No qualms about that. However,
so the census is legal.
Well, let me finish. However, when the president decides he wants to do that, a need for get an instrument established indicating what make he want for do the census, indicating what will be the final benefits to the country, what will be the positive outcome, and that instrument they get for go to the people of Sierra Leone. And the only side where you go, where you get a full representation of all of Sierra Leone, na Parliament. Parliament, then they provide an oversight. Parliament get 3 roles in that country. One role, number one, now for provide oversight on the executive branch, for make sure say the executive branch they do what they're supposed to do. Secondly, then they for make law. Thirdly, then they for represent them party them na Parliament. Now come to the first one. That oversight they make sure say now they approve what in government they spend, the public spending. Now they make sure say government spending money for what it say it want it take for. So therefore, it only but right for make you can later instrument in a parliament, okay, convince them parliamentarian then, and by extension the people of Sierra Leone for say this census is required, this census is needed, and the expected outcome positive for the country in this. That never happened. Initially, it never ever happened. They started the process of cartography mapping and all the other very, very serious aspects of census without any reference to the parliament. Parliament get for call, raise hell, went back and forth, and after several back and forth, then can do waiting, and if we don't do force, then do and last. So it left to the audience for determine whether the census was legal or not legal. Illegal in the sense that the president get the right to get the mandate, but there's a process he must follow. If he failed to follow that process, then it give an inclination, it sets some amount of uncomfortability, it makes somebody feel like say he want pass ball under you. That's
okay,
the position.
Thank you, Ajibu. So Ajibu, the answer in your own side, MYK. So now make we listen to what you get for say, sir.
I don't really feel so we have a debate here because he answers the question, say it's legal. He not go tell me, say, Agibu not go tell me, say, Parliament's not aware about this. All these instruments, follow laws and all that. The APC bent from day one where the census thing come up. APC has been an obstruction to it.
No, Mike, leave APC out of this. This is not a process way for follow.
It is. We're talking
about Mike.
Mike. If a process for the instruments, the processes for follow, of course, through Parliament, it has to be upheld by the parliamentarians in Parliament.
Mike, so if I tell you, say in algebra, I say 2x plus. If I say in algebra, I say 2 raised to 4 times 2 raised to 2. You for say if you not follow the modus operandi, please excuse my dear Auntie Sally. If you not do the order of operation, meaning that if you not do the exponent first, then you do the multiplication, then you do the division as they come, you get the answer wrong. That is the same thing about this. The process must be followed. You must follow.
The same in mathematics. The same models of operandi, the same in mathematics principles. You get different rules and principles of mathematics. You can do Pythagoras theorem. Hold on. No, you do. You have different ways for answer a question in math. You know what I mean?
No, but the order of operation are the same.
At the end of the day,
and this is a constitutional arrangement. It is laid out. You're told what you need for do.
Yeah, let me come in, Agibu. I'm on my.
Go ahead.
You had your time. Let me come in. The order of the day here, mathematical principle we come with in algebra or in statistics, inferential statistics, whatever you call it, examination of the answer we come to. How you come to the answer?
No, Mike.
Ajibu. Let's Mike actually continue with in question.
Point why they make you must follow a process.
Mike, please continue.
You know what I mean?
This is why I'm saying the processes we are followed. Listen, this is why I'm saying the processes we are followed, right? The whole thing where the crux of the argument here was APC say the speaker not inform them. And there are many ways you can inform people. You can inform them by a memo. You can inform them by phone call. You can inform them through parliamentary sitting. So what me try for say here is from the very kind way, even if APC have been obstructive to everything in that country. When Samura lost election, Agibu, you knew Samura said he's going to make that country ungovernable. The president called for Buntiman in 3, a consultative conference. APC not show off. When we go to Parliament, they see things about APC for today. An IGR report will come out recently, the institutional governance report will come out. Out of 41% of people don't go for parliamentary sittings regularly. Now, the only thing whether they try for come together as APC and SFPP, now whether they don't file in a gazette, what they call the welfare benefits gazette for 2022. We are in the increase in salaries and the increase in the medical allowance and transportation allowance and all things. Now, the only time this one they work together because it benefits them directly. But me and you, Nayana, for come sit down, my brother, will talk about say census. It's not a good thing. Why is it that it's only one reason you guys are taken into context of consideration? That the census is premeditated because SLPP want for manipulate the elections. Why? Why is that the only reason?
What
Why
did he
not
say?
you follow through?
I hear clearly.
Why
But what
not
I am
you?
saying is,
No. Let me come in.
I'm putting you on mute,
Mike-
Ajibu. I'm putting you on mute for now.
Why not
Go
you
on,
follow
MYK.
through? Why can't you come to the people of Sierra Leone and highlight the flaws? Bring out reasons, bring out measurable outcomes, and where the point say, you see what they tell us say, this figure here na lie. You see what they tell us say, then cook this figure. It's all assumption. It's all the APC playbook. Because when I tell other people now, when I not even tell people that even Francis will fall for that. When I not only tell people them say now rural Freetown Day and urban Freetown Day. The results will come on academy now rural Freetown and a lot of people then you agree with me don't move now rural Freetown. People that now they build us then them Godrich, people that they build us them Malama, Hamilton. Now the people that they move now, people that they come on at the heart of the city. People that they only come here now when they walk. So why don't you tell people that this results will come out from Kenema? It's not the total Freetown. Una they say, oh, Kenema Boku pass Freetown. Una they say Kenema Boku pass urban Freetown. Una they say Kenema Boku pass rural Freetown. Una say the entire Freetown because people don't have time to look at those optics and look at those details. So let's be nationalistic here in our debate, Agibu. Let's be real with the people of Sierra Leone. Let's be, because you make a point where we say these old folks are fading away. Tomorrow, me and you get for take this country. Now we get for the day. It's incumbent on us for the real and the truth to the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay, MYK, now you don't give your own point
Right.
across, right? And my brother Ajibu as well, we don't give your own point across. But I like make this be interactive program. So we get another caller, we don't call on the line, where we need to listen for what he inside get for say to we. Caller, who's the call from and what's your name, sir?
Amina Francis, I call from Minnesota.
Okay, Mr. Francis, what's your contribution today, sir?
I just want to tell you plenty thank you. We will not organize this debate here. Some people get for land, some people will refuse steal for land. But me make I be really honest with Una. This thing na politics. They would have really creates the problem. Some man they refuse to point finger. And it's now creates the problem from 2015. Where 2015
Why are you making that face?
Place. At the end of the day, for saying that the north no population will grow, the southeast no other side no grow in terms of population, then waiting creates the problem. If Nayana no be grow, well you go create 2 districts, well you don't go create 1 self at the south and the east. Well, in this na politics, you know, see na number. That was the, if una they say the benefit of census, what else will benefit after 2015 census rather than 2 new districts? Not a problem, me, I don't get problem with that. But me, if I be leader, I for don't go create it. Now 1 self go give you compete then 1. Tomorrow you self go say at least. But that's not dry eye. When them they say may they not count them, may they refuse to count the APC people. What we are they refusing? What we are they hiding? That's not the question. That at the end of the day, what's really gonna be the benefit of the 2015 census rather than 2 new districts in the north? And let's create these 2 new districts. Well, yourself, you know, go and remember the other one. Let this create this problem. And it will continue for be so. That's no more for say the other political party they nobody see then stupid. When they self can they will just get for make way themselves because you know you are in a house, then you go shame. You go consider there is okay 1 room I will divide and 2, then the same thing, but that is something that is still the talk. And let's not create this tension here. Then if we don't be decent, at least 1 year that they will protect the fragile democracy. It's halala over the halala, and no waiting, no this stuff. Not to now play no more with the play with yourself. But we say being the problem there. You now say parliamentarian where you get more, now more power, now more resources they go now you place, now more representation. Then in other senses, nobody don't complain or whatever complain, but not to be good leadership.
Okay, thank you so much, caller. We don't call, and your time done. So thank you very much for the call. We don't call, and I respect you. Thank you very much, sir.
Please.
Thank you. So, MIK, Ajibu, this now we other color we call we concerned brother. As they say, I'm not for label nobody. I'm trying my level best, but so now we concerned brother that they wake up. Look at MIK laughing at me already. It never laugh me already. I can't really label. I'm trying my level best for being neutral in this one, but it's not easy. And this color has to actually bring a vital point, Cam. We actually lead me to the next question where I get for ask. That question they get for go to Ajibu. And this color also say the person who creates this problem from the beginning. Nah, and
wait. Hold on. My good Mike say. Is it I turn this time again?
No, that's how you turn out. You ask the question, we don't also don't answer. You don't also we don't answer. So don't worry, no, that's how you turn out. We don't ask question, we don't also don't answer. So this caller also we cancel. He actually give a very vital point, and in point where he bring come to me, I think is a very good one. He say, former president Ernest Kurumana, and we don't create this issue first. In the first census we become out, where maybe get sense very well, 2015 census we become out now. So when we go from two other constituencies that we bring come in, when if you like now the same way the well, we're not talking, but it looks like it's the same way this present administration is taking it to. So we're not saying it is, but it looks like that is the same way. So the ends will justify the means, basically, if we're not going to get too new or another constituency somewhere around again. But waiting this color also bring come we make myself really they think about really well. How come the 2015, right? When we do the census during that time there, we'll be get a couple of new constituencies because we're not be really seeing nothing we don't do with that census there, to be honest with you. According to waiting me no. Not so according to I don't maybe Ajibu go get me wrong. But this new one don't come, right? And where the census be they come, when they be announced for saying they do census, we know a lot of people that will become online from the APC party. Maybe they tell them people and for say, you now not vote, not vote, you now not registered for census. People then come where they say, you now not register me, I no want for register. You know, not that people and they call them people from abroad where it was absolutely truth, and I see a couple of them as well. We see that where they come live na Facebook where they say you know not for register me, you know not making a register. So Ajibu, you think for say because a lot of people them now the APC party be actually they downplay the censor where them be the can count that in make we're not able to forget the right count na free tongue when they make come out. Or the areas them where APC then they.
Are you asking me about 2015 or you asking
no, I'm
about
asking you, I'm just talking about 2015, I'm asking you about the present censor. Where because 2015 we see the way the censor go, right? According to what we call us, and according to what maybe understand as well in 2015 censor, we actually get two new constituencies now the APC old area. So at the say now, you think for say the reason why whether 2015 censor actually not right tally with this one way we do now, is it because the APC party asked them people them for make them not registered? Maybe that is why we see and can so.
I think I already told you that the APC asks people them not for countersign a sham engagement. The APC asking people enough for endorse a sham engagement. Now that caller we call, you sound very passionate, but I would like to say that you not add any value to the discussion based on the fact of how I see it. Think you hear what he say? He say, "Bo, una go add two constituency to my own side. One, I not give you small self yanda." You know, it's an indication
because to me it did. Because reason being, I bring this question to you.
Wait, talk. I see Mike the cringe. They say, "Oh boy, Spanish. What did this man they talk so?" Now, so normally they begin to add the establishment of constituencies is based on population movement. The census, who's like people in there. If you get 700 people in one particular area, is sufficient for make you get a constituency and so on and so forth. You know, you get the way they use. You know, they just grab say the shape. In 2015, when we get a census, that was a constitutionally mandated census. It is advised that in any country, you get census once every 10 years. Because the movement of people and the growth of population go be significant over every 10-year period. The last time we will get census in Salon, I believe, was 2001. So we should have had a census in 2011, but we did not have one in 2015. Okay, and it was really needed because we don't there for over 10 years. We don't get census, and you needed to have a census. But when we had that in 2015, we will still get 3 years left to the end of we time of office. Okay, now in this case here, so we're having a mid-term census, meaning that before the 10-year come up, which is legal, that's fine, but the issue at hand will be explained, where Mike actually stray away from the pertinent issue we talk about, whether or not we follow the right procedure. Now, the fact that the president not lay the instruments now parliament like how he's supposed to. We have 3 arms of government working independently. We have the lawmakers, we're not parliament. We have the judiciary where they interpret the law where parliaments they make. And we have the executive branch where they execute the law and the way parliaments they make. And therefore, if the executive branch want for take on something, which is census, which is very legal, then suppose for can present that instruments there to the parliament where now they Sierra Leoneans are being represented. You get for be quite clear about what you do. If you fail for do that, then it will be seen as you are hiding something. And it is a fact that that instrument was not laid in parliament at all.
Okay.
And a lot of question and draw come before they come back after the fact, after they don't start the process. When the process had started, and where the opposition holler at parliament say this is not how it's supposed to go, now that tended them bring the parliament, the paper can of parliament.
But
and
Ajibu,
when I talked about that,
the question I asked was simple. The reason, is it true that the reason why a lot of people them not registered, now the APC stronghold area them, I just want a yes or no question. Is it because the reason why the APC party tell them people are not for registered?
Yes, certainly yes.
Okay, that is fine.
Yes,
that is all I want to know. So this is one of the reasons.
But then what are they say? But then hold on, man. What are they say? In as much as, and I want to make this point very salient, in as much as the president get the right for call centers when and how we want to do them, there are procedures to follow to do that. When I be talk about that order of operation, I'm not going to talk about mathematics, but what I be try for bring out that the fact that if you fail for follow process and procedures, you get the wrong answer. If I give you say 2x to the 4th, I say give me the first derivative. You have to follow the procedure. Take the exponent, multiply them by the coefficients minus 1. First derivative per nine for be 8 to the x minus 3. If you fail for do that, you know they get the answer. I don't care what you do. You must follow the procedure. Not only mathematics that they talk about. Okay. Now the order of operation has laid out.
I don't listen to you, Ajibu. Thank you very much for your contribution. I like the way you're passionate about your answer right now. But MYK, before you answer Ajibu, right, if I ask you a question, this now you turn now. Where this question has to go tally with waiting Ajibu just saying. I make up want a yes or no answer. Because the reason being that they ask this question here, so MYK, this goes specifically to you and the SLPP government, right? And this question here also say, you think for say, this 2021 census way they non do, now for manipulate the upcoming 2023 election. Do you think so? I know the answer from Ajibu already, so I'm not going to go there. Do you think so? I know what you're going to say, but I need to ask you this question.
It could be very even naive a lot for like even Agibu feel that way because census is not only for the start of the program. That's the first premise I try for establishing Lena Francis. Census is not only for political reasons. The only thing we don't get for use that for now because of waiting now for boundaries limitation or delimitations. I don't get for use them for neck for see who say electoral points and get for day and all anything and the boundaries and the. But that is another reason. And when Agibu they talk saying now 1 year to elections, then come out census. Come on, that's not true. But this census don't start and since 2019. Now procedures they take. You get to do an assessment, and after an assessment, you get to get donors, then find the money, forget donors, then we go for support them. Then after that, it kicking. So let Agibu not talk, so like president just don't have office and say, when I go count people them, the APC people then try for say, no, we're not agree for law on account we, because we not follow due procedures. It went to Parliament. Yes, it go Parliament say, at the end of the day, APC MPs and say, oh, well, when I don't follow the due procedures, when I go back to law and I go read, law and I go prepare the paper back, law and I come. Well, for maintain harmony in a Parliament, for let due processes be followed, SLPP came back to the drawing board, then do all what the APC say for let them do, then go back in the Parliament. But Francis, Miami, and you see what people then check the declaration openly.
Yeah.
Who see her openly? So from the very start,
that is true. That's true.
When SLPP initiates this whole thing, these people we are obstructing the thing. They don't ever want to let it happen. And you feel say as a government, we get for Sidon. Well, I don't work for government. Sorry, I take that back. But as a government, you feel say SLPP get for Sidon, for the APC gets them way. Now, this is a government of the day. The first thing I want to establish now, let me brother understand here is, if this was not a legitimate thing, if this not go through the processes way for go through, if this not follow the modus operandi way they mentioned, say for follow the modus operandi, we not for even get funding for them. We not for the
but we did not. World Bank pulled out.
No, they did. It's not World Bank is not the only. World Bank did not pull out because it did not follow the due process. They even get
World Bank pulled out because the result would have been inconclusive.
Listen. No, don't make the reason for World Bank. World Bank
they said it.
Disbursed the first. No,
Ajibu, it's MYK's time. Let MYK go through. Go on.
It's fine. We're having a discussion. He doesn't mind.
World Bank, Agibu, you know World Bank disbursed the first tranche of the money. Where World Bank, it was a 30 million grant so then give statistics Sierra Leone for harmonizing data. Harmonizing of data. That was the name of the grant. They give the first tranche of whether about 15% of that 30 million there. Then after that, when the training they go on, the only problem with World Bank we get to statistics Sierra Leone. World Bank say statistics for train the enumerators them, they forgive them about 2 weeks more for train them. World statistics say we don't have time. We have a timeline. They are trained. We have tested them. We have done a pilot. They are trained. They can do the job. The World Bank say, okay, no. But there are other donors who give the money. And again, you should commend this government, Agibu, for not to we not forbidden to live on donor-driven economy. Not to anything World Bank get for can dictate to we waiting for do. Now UN get for can dictate to we waiting for. America get for tell we waiting for do. It was exponent on the president for let the president even pull money inside with coffers and fund we own census. We as a country for able fund with census. That is a great thing. Yes. That is something we for applaud them for them. You know what I mean? Now I don't want debates. I don't want to put this debate to politics because this is dealing with people's life. Yeah. Now even where SLPP they talk, where somebody they call when they talk say, oh, unless for don't give one person here, that's a political discussion. Give some people the afia, give some people the no. We have this census gave us data that we will not be get. We'll get inside the census Bank, we will get a school data.
World Bank and IMF.
No, listen, inside the census, Agibu, we able to get a school data. We able to know how many teachers in there. We able to know how many chiefdoms and we get preschool going. We're not be getting data in there. The thing what they try for say, I'm challenging the APC status quo now here that if you say the census was a sham, if you say these figures we are cooked up, go to statistics Sierra Leone, the data is there. The topography,
the data they have is insufficient. They don't get the facts. Plenty people then are selling what they take, so they don't count them. And when you look at the figures, them how they come out,
let me come into this. Let me come into this, please.
So what are you trying to say here?
Can I come into this, please?
Let me just finish here. So these people refuse to be counted. So you want to say because people refuse to be, because this is the model of the APC. APC wanted people to be refused to be counted, then the census don't go ahead. Then we stick with the 2015 data.
So, Mike, if you don't count people and if people refuse to be counted, then how would you be able to produce a credible result? That's the point.
This is just a small portion of people who refuses to be counted. Give me a measure.
No, it's not about people refusing to count MYK. There were people who were waiting at home. MYK, there were people who were waiting at home. When I bring this cam up, people then call me. People then they will be there waiting at the host them for making them go count them. And they're not ever get counted. The sense of people have not ever show up for count them. A lot of people at different side of the country were not counted by the census people. They were waiting to be counted and they were never counted.
I agree with you. Let me take that for argument's sake. But do you also agree that after the 31st of December, the last day of the census night, calls start coming, 118 calls start coming. People said they were waiting in the houses, they never counted them. Do you know that they did a mopping up operations, 3 mopping ups? You know that? They extended the time.
It was a sham.
What?
It was a sham to start with. World Bank never said. World Bank not ever say make we not do census. What in World Bank say? We not extend the time a little bit, give people a more training. We say no, we need to do that. So World Bank decide to pull out. They not stop we not for do census. So they say give people a more time for train. So they pull the money come on inside. If World Bank a major donor like that one, they pull the money. That is telling. And for make it say World Bank na nothing. 40% of we budget is being supported by donor partners in Sierra Leone. 40%.
Okay, let me tell you.
For say the president take money and go do census, it means that the priorities was wrong. They like today, we sit down, we're not able to continue to pay salary, we're not able to give teacher the money, we're not able to continue to pay risk allowance for COVID. Hold on. We get salary issues. We get teacher the way they all say they need money for bring the money come up. We're not able to do that. Okay, hold on. The policeman are not getting rest for the last 8 months. No, 1 second, sir. The policeman are not getting rest the last 8 months. All of that one day they have been because we divert money from one side for go. That's what I'm saying.
Just 1 second. Let me take this call. This is my second to last call. Call right now. Caller, who saw you the call from and what's your name?
I'm calling from British Columbia, Vancouver. I just want to say a big thank you to you, the conduct the program. And I want to say a big thank you to the two speakers, them too, especially Brother Mike Berewa.
Okay, sir.
But I'm always a very detailed, in account of facts. Yes, it is support SLPP, but it's very honest when it comes to bringing out issues. Then it always see things when are facts, which I appreciate. Also, a politician for the. But I just want to say one or two things regarding the other brother man waiting at the studio now, Ajibu. At times, we got to be honest, not this politics or deceitful politics. Ajibu sit on a studio, it give out information, so not misleading and wrong information. These were the people who mislead Sierra Leoneans and say they don't allow government or if enumerators then come for what is for council or register. Then now you see don't the talks are not credible. The whole process, as far as we Sierra Leoneans and know, that process was credible, it was transparent. And we Sierra Leoneans and we support the government of the day. The government of the day, no matter what, it's the government of the day. May APC not say being in opposition and get responsibility and get your responsibility as a political party, not to for the mislead the people and they create problems here and there at Parliament for the government of the day. When SLPP be in opposition, a lot of things so they do APC they do, SLPP not do them. With the big one, I want to tell our politicians, they want to tell our MPs, they want to tell our party members, they made them they follow due process, made them they follow what thing they need for when they made them be disciplined. If you the politicians sit down there, you tell people they say no, go make an account, you know, go register. Where is the discipline? Where is the discipline, Mr. Ajibu? Something like that. That's not the honest assigning. That's how they tell truth to each other. When they mislead the young generation, especially the youth, when they cause a whole lot of problem in Freetown, especially under the diaspora, who get access to this free Wi-Fi at times. So I got to be honest how they do things.
Thank you very much, caller, for your call. And your 2 minutes done. So this now we call from Vancouver, Canada, and he actually this caller from Mr. Ajibu. Mr. Ajibu. That color was for you.
Let me go back to my point. I was on my point. You interrupted, Francis. Why are you
no,
doing this?
It's a debate program, and we got to get the public involved at the same time.
I mean, the gentleman.
You know,
but Mike, since
We've
I get
gone
some
over the
fresh
time. The
now,
2 minutes is gone. So I'm listening.
since I get some fresh now,
Yes.
make I
It's
respond
okay.
to the gentleman.
It's okay.
The gentleman talk about the fact that we mislead people and we ask people not for the party, the APC party ask people not for participate in the census. But I also give you justification as to why. I mean, you can say you're not giving a good justification, but the reason we make the APC ask in people enough for participate that because the time be too short, it looked like it was politically motivated, then we get ulterior motive. And the fact that World Bank, a major donor, will not get no ask for grind in this other than for provide technical support and financial support, decide for pull out. Now a clear justification say something the problem day. So that is what APC be hang pan. Now whether a right or a wrong, I don't know, but APC now that's then see we make the ask, then people say not participate. Now finally, if APC not participate, it means that you not go able to get a credible census. If they're not
No, that's not
participate,
true.
you're not able for count. You're not able for count. Then you go begin do hypothesis. You go begin guess. And when you begin guess, then you dey get wrong figure. Then the situation go worse than what it is now. So at the end of the day, if you just go count or you decide for say, okay, because they are not participate, me they assume for say now 10 people lay under, we're actually in 100, then you don't defeat the whole purpose. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, Mike, go on, please.
Agibu, let me just
Yes, sir.
I can see Francis where they talk. I see the shaking head.
I'm just listening. Me, I like for listening.
Agree with me.
I like for listening, Mike. I really agree. I just want to listen. When you say you're talking,
It is more where you talk. It is shaking more where you talk.
I just say you everybody talk and they talk like, okay, let me listen. Okay, I get
it
it.
is smile. When you talking, they only shake it is smile to the point where they become uncomfortable. What not so it be? Now you look, carry on, sir. No problem. So if I pass me, no problem.
I see the faces the way they make. Oh, this one again. And
I'm like, okay, let me listen.
It's on TV. But anyway, my point. Want me to try for raise here is Agibu. Let's get the facts clear here. World Bank not pull out because of there are two things we're debating here. We are debating the legality of the census, which you agreed with me it's legal. So that is closed. We don't get a closing on that. Then the second thing we try for raise here is they talk about the instrument, the processes, the due processes. I even lay a premise now, say the processes were followed.
Eventually they were followed.
Yo, listen, they're followed. When I come, when I criticize, SLPP went back to the drawing board. They came back and inform una, then call for the people, then sit down for them, discuss them. We see one people, then they how you call them, when check the paper. When the president's in declaration and check them, we see how people then obstruct. They don't even want to. It's just like when you get the gun lobby thing here going in America. Wherein the Republicans don't even want to sit down and discuss. They don't even want to sit down and discuss.
Point of order.
Yeah.
Point of order.
Right.
The document where they chair, not to the instrument they chair. They chair
No, and they just
instrument no, but no, be clear.
Yeah,
Instrument we got for do with census should be presented by itself. But then take them, then join them with other issues, and procedurally it incorrect. They are where the parliament rules have the rules, the SOS is incorrect.
It is all.
No, they have a rule, they have a way to follow. But they explain that to we say other issues not for be incorporated with that. It should be sitting by itself. Now I made the chair. Not to the issue, not to the issue where the chair go.
Okay. Let's make this conversation healthy. From the very first start, when there was a proposal for the midterm census, do you agree with me that APC obstructed it? When
I don't agree.
When the starting first. When I talk, say
of course, yes. There was a question.
Fine.
The question
okay, I'm
was,
coming.
why now?
Okay, we don't actually go with this debate for a while. I just think I tell you that when it came towards with 2 hours max na Facebook, I love you, but I have to remind you guys, we're coming towards about 2 hours max on Facebook. So if it ever go off, that is it, we off the air. But please, the family where they listen to we, just hear them now, because me, I'm just gonna leave it with them now. Let them do the debate till Facebook actually cuts we off. Let's go on. MYK, go on.
We have one more thing to discuss.
We have one more topic to discuss.
We will come back
When
in.
you try for see, like when you obstruct, it takes away my thoughts. Don't be doing that.
Sorry, darling.
So me issues here. What they try for talk here. Let Agibu know. See, from the very first start, it was initiated. From the very first start, then discuss it. Okay, we need a midterm census. Because then sit down with donor partners, them donor partners, they accept, say, yes, there are a lot of data we will not get in a salon. How can we distribute our resources? How can we allocate resources to the people of Sierra Leone? I even give you an instant, I posted on my Facebook yesterday, say, the IOM, IMO, International Migration Office, says Sierra Leone don't get a data on how many people that don't throw away goes overseas. How many people them don't do temple run? We don't have data on that. And development should be driven with data. There is a lot of data they won't know this alone. We don't know how many, we don't even know how many people that go pre-kindergarten school. We don't have those data. We don't know how many people that get hypertension in Sierra Leone. We don't know how many people that get neglected tropical diseases in Sierra Leone. We don't know how many Bella women they salon. Some of them data than they now UNFPA they can do one. This census integrated all that. It is a population and housing census. It's not just a head count, Francis. So don't say it is just based on for political reasons. For argument's sake, okay, I go agree, say maybe some political sentiments there. But why are you taking away the other good things in the census?
Okay, maybe we share the time, Mike. But since we come up on this topic,
why
let me say something. Okay, let me say something now.
Since for race here, it is not about legality anymore. It is a legal census. If APC unscrupulous individuals and decide say they are going to obstruct the process, they are not going to partake to the census, it's left with them. It's their civic responsibility.
Okay. We see this.
If you reach say you know they go vote, it's up to you. We'll stick up for whole elections, results come out, the one that will vote, we count them. So if you
say there's an ulterior motive, behind all of this. The fact that you do a midterm census with the terminology,
they are not measurable.
And the fact that you not tender a document in a parliament where you're supposed for, and the fact that World Bank pull out. But before now, they don't begin talk about say the local government elections should not be partisan. Therefore, pull party business per local level election. We don't begin say they want to play things. We also know for say this issue of census was motivated because they want for do gerrymandering. When they do gerrymandering, they move the party line, the district line, them such that you get more constituency in a certain area. And then they were talking about proportional representation. So at the end of the day, what thing they want for do, they want for bring proportional representation. And this census here, what thing will happen? They already send documents to NEC for tell NEC say based on the census they get for act. So now NEC now to start now for begin divide the constituency, create more constituency the area, we go give them more member of parliament. This is the sole objective, that the only objective now in this way. So for make the Sidona power, the current executive, the current administration has become very, very unpopular, and they get for find ways and means for make them get a foothold on power through rigging or through misinforming people. The one that wanted to pay attention,
Agibu, when you talk about unpopularity, let me just come in.
Okay, if you go into Sierra Leone now, if you go into Sierra Leone now, you put clusters of 10, you talk to 10 people, and 8 go tell you say, but listen, we have been mishandled. The direction that was given to us was say with the campaign new direction, but now bad direction. I would not campaign. Everything is going wrong, and we understand quite well say there's problems in the
Agibu, let me tell you this today. Take it from real.
Go ahead, my brother.
Sierra Leone, when I go to Sierra Leone, I don't just look at Freetown. Freetown is not Sierra Leone. Don't go to Freetown.
Certainly, of course. Of course, I agree with you.
And you ask people.
No, you're not going to see that.
People in Freetown are going to be disgruntled.
Certainly, you're not going to see.
Because at the end of the day, that is what an APC stronghold. But I am telling you, President.
But you could say the Gombul Bokuna Kenema and Pujeo and Kaila pass Freetown.
No, make I just say. Me to tell you, say. If you look at the past by-elections that are happening, clearly they tell you say APC is dying. You look at if USA APC, SRPP they test for votes that Koya, SRPP USA a strong APC hold where SRPP they get 12%, SRPP is getting 40%. If you look at we have 6 electoral blocks, SRPP not even need for good campaigning. We have Bo, we have Kenema, we have Kailan. Hold on, we have Bo. No, hold on, don't obstruct. We have Bo, we have Kailan, we have Moyamba, we have Bont, we have Kenema, we have Pujel. These are 6 electoral blocks, static electoral blocks, these are predominantly SLPP supporters. We don't need to go there to even campaign. The only thing we're going to make APC win elections, you know this, Ajibu. If the SLPP stronghold is divided, APC came to power because of what? The PMDC factor. You know that, Agibu. You are well informed. Now Southeasterners and give power to Anes by Kuruma because of Charles Magai, where it can split the SLPP votes. But if the APC and SLPP come match, the SLPP base is solidified. There is no way APC will win elections in that country. You know that. It is fact.
But
you
then
guys
in 2012, the people they say
2023 right now.
No, but you cannot forget in 2012 the people they find out say they made a right choice in 2007. They say they make a right choice in 2007 because they see mass improvement in road construction, mass improvement in agriculture, mass improvement in cohesiveness and general peace in the country. That's what we're saying.
I have a question.
Looking at the country as it is now,
I have a question for you.
This way they do not find.
Okay, you know,
when they talk, they listen. When we want to talk, they agree. You see,
I don't listen when you talk. I don't listen when you debate. I try my level best not forget involved and not forget bash according to when they bash me so much.
No, but you're not treating me right. You say make we talk. Then when we want to talk now, you say you got me. If I'm not talking again.
You see, that's the same thing.
That's all right. That's all right. But me no say in Koinadugu get a net functionary we put one instead of 40 in front of 49 we change number for make SLPP council go into office. We no say we hold constituency 110. Constituency 110 now 310 we hold election down the all man Siam where we don't get to a point where they win the election 6 o'clock. Then scatter the box them in plain view of policeman, in plain view of a minister of government. Nothing not come inside. All of this now fed the feds for keep the head above water.
Okay, let me say this. Let me
APC is not going to win elections in 2023. APC is not going to win elections in 2023.
Let me come in,
They are not going to win elections because you are not prepared. You don't have money. You don't have structures. You are not prepared for elections. The people are tired of APC. We can't afford to have another APC game.
Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. Inside their mouth, truth to know day. Inside their eyes, corruption day. Inside their heart, wickedness day. Once they get into power, now when the time will gain, now in their brain, then we type one and we change. In the name of change, why? Change. They combine those with change. Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them. Politicians promise you, make you not believe in them. If they say make you vote for them, make you look well. If they say make
until you not be see where the debates be don't go really hot and you not be see for say they not be the listing again, then be there all over the place. So I began for really like put them down and like, okay, let's take a little break and make we see how we go come back into this. Because guess what, in that two topic we talk about today. And this way also be don't go too much. And when it comes to politics, and you don't listen to waiting with Nigerian brother sing say, politicians then go tell you not anything, but guess what, then they lie you. Then go talk about anything. And this debate here, so we don't talk about the one aspect of the debate. And this next one will come and is very short. Now just a short bit with the do of but this next aspect of the debate where we can talk about now regarding the false and the false degree and where we get now we country. And as I go, make I put this picture here so up for you now. And I want for actually give credit for this picture. This picture here, so they come up from Dr. John Idris Lahai in page. Dr. John Idris Lahai, now one of the people where they bring, I call them, we get two Ariobo them now we community. And the two Ariobo them where we get Chinoba, we now one of the Ariobo them, and then we get Dr. John Lahai right now, we don't join them with Ariobo. When I go friend things them for we bring come up. We just be to talk about the censor. But then we actually get this one a fake degree now. And this man where we see now is screen, so not according to me, according to waiting Dr. John Lahai say, he said this man not really credible enough for be somebody where for do we censor na Sierra Leone. So I can ask them two people here, so I get with we na so make them tell we a little bit about the credibility of Theophilus, where they call Theo, where do the censor for we na Sierra Leone. So make I bring them come back, right? Me two boyfriend them na screen right now. So MYK Berewa. If you see the screen right now over there, it gets Theophilus there on the screen, right? But according to Dr. Lahai, he said he pulled this post here so for we it was I think March. And he say this man not credible enough for actually be the person we're supposed for do we census. It was on May 11 to be precise. Dr. John Idris I pulled this post here so for we on Facebook. Now in page, if you go now in page, you go read them and he did it very well. He said this man not credible enough for actually do the census in Sierra Leone. So what's now you take on it? And this fake degree where they come out all over our country. Okay, let me unmute you because I did mute you now. So make her unmute you. Go on, MYK.
So not try for Polish show, but you have a very great, rich platform. I mean, if we discuss about fake degrees, let's discuss. I don't like for personalized people. This guy gets a family, and John Idris, like I would always respect due to him as a Sierra Leonean. He's not authoritative. He not gets the authority for come out there. So this is not a reference. Mrs. I can go on Facebook and say Francis like this, Francis like that. Other person will pull land there and show say because of Francis say this, because of that. So it's not authoritative. It's not an authoritative document way for debate here. I don't want to be part of
Okay, let me show you the next one, Margaret. Let me just show you the next one.
Listen. Let me come.
Yeah, Dominion, DOMINION.
So I've got that one too. You the smile?
Right.
I just like when we talk with evidence.
Yeah, this is better. I'm not. It's like I said. It's not. That's not an evidence. An evidence has to be peer reviewed. It has to be authoritative. It has to come from an institution where you get the mandate. For Silako, they talk about census. Agibu, they talk. They reference World Bank. They reference statistics, Sierra Leone's. Those are authoritative information. So an individual way they're on a hunt for people them this. I mean, you go back, you know that guy then page back, he gets what he writes. Say he gets a degree. So I don't want to get into that. I don't even know him. So I don't even know whether he's an SLPP supporter or an APC supporter. He has been there for years, even APC 10. They don't do it. So now we narrow the conversation to audience them, let them be informed. Back to the video where you talk about when they talk about fake degrees. First of all, I want to establish this premise here that I not they support anybody we get fake degree in a salon. Okay. Are they against them? For a country for go before you get forget people them one of the real people that we merit waiting for DD for do the work. You can put square holes or square pegs in round holes. And I want to believe say that President for Sierra Leone share that initiative they would make. From what this don't happen, what this fake degree don't happen, I don't ever talk to the president here. For make I know what's in view towards them and all that. But I'm speaking from my own perspective. Because this is a national security issue. So all they talk, I'm going to politicize them. And I believe so many brother come back and not go politicize this. For address them high for happen. What would they talk about these degrees and this fake degree, Francis? I look at it from a very objective, broad objective point of view. How do I look at it? Me not they talk about the one them we go na Dubai, we pay 5,000 and go wear gown and give them. They not do no school work, they not write no thesis, they not do nothing and just bam. I'm not talking about those people. Those people, it's a shame. But we for understand here, two things here people need to understand. There is a difference between an authorization and accreditation. But when debates can come, a lot of Sierra Leoneans are lazy to information. We don't care for no. What do I want to say? You get universities them inside America, yourself, we're not accredited, but they are legal. They are authorized. Accreditation are a process. make this clear back. I am not supporting fake degrees. I'm not supporting Dominion. I don't get any of my family, any of my party where get fake degree. I am just giving a broader picture of how this whole thing may happen,
Hey, what's up?
how people can look at it. So my point I'm raising here is this. These institutions have been in Sierra Leone for over the years. For over 10 years. Then we don't do during APC thing. We see where the I call them President Koroma Sidom with I call them the authorities of African Governors University now your office. Where and VW Africa interview them, even talk about the achievements and where don't make the universities and where don't come in education, where don't bring. It mentioned this Governors University in Salon. So at the end of the day, let's ask ourselves subjective questions. These people who went to school, who paid these universities, these fake universities went to Sierra Leone, then they paid a NACI too. Then go Sierra Leone, then get acknowledgement certificate from City Council at Sierra Leone. They hire teachers, then when they pay. Then get a structure at Sierra Leone where people they see there. Not to today, not to tomorrow, not to 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. They don't graduate every year. Where people then they go to graduation. You go even be surprised. Say the former Minister of Education, former Deputy Minister of Education, Christian Atop. He went then get one of them degrees and they from St. Clement's University, the doctorate degree. So you go say because Christian Atop pull results where SLPP not win, you go say back na fake. So me look for argue on an objective point of view. I blame the government of Sierra Leone. I blame the Tertiary Institution Commission. People need to be serious with their work. Because if you look at that one that we pay, we go school, we pay them school fee, we go sit on a classroom, we go take 3 years in a class. Then all of a sudden, they can't say their certificates are fake. Because the university not accredited. And people need to understand here, say accreditation is a process. You know, the open school today, you get accredited today. Even university in America now, you get people that when they go nursing school, tell them done, when they go, they're not able to sit in the NCLEX. Because at the end of the day, then they tell them, say, okay, this university is not accredited. You have people here who go to community colleges, they're not able to transfer them, cut them courses, then they now certain universities. Because then they tell you, say, this course is not accredited. So it takes a process, it takes time for let people get accreditation. It will take 1 year, it will take 2 years, it will take 3 years, it will take 4 years. What is whole thing come on? What maybe is even say, I say, but sometimes the man not pack for man away the Tertiary Institution Education Commission. Because probably if they go bribe themselves, they don't give their accreditation. Some of people are now taking this thing to politicize it. Oh, President, you take people them, take people that will get fake degree. Now then so they're in government, people will take fake degree, and then so back. Let me tell you this, Francis, if we roll it back, we go back to APC days. You go tell me, say, Agibu go agree with me, say, but people that they want APC ministers, then deputy ministers, parastatals, member of parliament, and then say go to that university day. Then get a boku. So it is a national issue. How do we solve it? We solve it with reforms. We solve it with policies. We don't agree, say this don't happen. Somebody don't come put a spotlight to it. With all due respect to John Lahai, my question maybe ask him on social media, why now? Why you not start this all along where you there? Now because you go for a job, they not give you. Why? Are you bitter? Do you have a motive? Are you disgruntled? It's good then there's somebody you have to bring a spotlight to it. But let's look at it objectively, Francis. Let's look at it nationalistically, Francis. Not the way they body shame people in the streets, they ain't for solve the problem. Oh. Now institutions ain't for solve this problem. Now laws, now reforms, now commissions they get for come together and say this is a law. People that will get them degrees there, we are not for allow them let them work. But Salon is so polarized that everything has to be politicized, and it takes away the merit. Let me leave my brother to throw light on this.
Okay, so make I actually bring Ajibu come back in. Ajibu, you waiting my brother MYK don't say regarding this fake degree issue where they go up and down the place. We get the Dominion, where people and they go graduate inside Sierra Leone. Now one backyard, I for call one bush behind what I go call and behind wash yard. When they go graduate a full doctorate degree. So what's now you don't take on this way, Dr. John Lahai don't come up with now with community about the fake degree?
If you look for a disputation, a contention, a disagreement, a dissension from waiting my brother Mike talk about, then I go disappoint you. And they which I'm 100% in everything we say is quite correct. And for me, I know they politicize this at all. It speaks to the individual. I have an education. I have a college education. I went to university. I went to grad school, and I know what it cost me. But also, going to grad school, I also made sure that when I choose a school, I get proper accreditation. Because the competition in this country is great, or the competition at the world is great. So I have to make sure, number one, the school where they go get proper accreditation. Like I say, I'm not going to get any decision agree with everything Mike say about this 100%. And for add to that, I will tell you, say, it's based on the individual. You have to make a choice as to what you want for do now your life, who say you want for get degree, and how you want for whose kind of standard you want for actually present. Before you go na school, you get for make sure say that school they accredited. You get for make sure say that degree the way they get is recognized. During the time, like how Mike rightfully say, as I be people them during the government, during the time, where they go Dubai, pay 5,000 just for make them get a degree, but now an honorary degree. An honorary degree quite different from a PhD. For say somebody say get a PhD, it means that individual there don't master. Una dey hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hello?
Better now.
Yeah. For say
better
somebody
Agibu.
gets a PhD, okay, sir. For say somebody gets a PhD, it means for say it don't master the topic. It don't move to a point now where they do research and allow people them for actually questioning research and make sure say yes, the research where it do, they actually add to the breadth and scope of that particular discipline there. So it takes a lot of work. Somebody where they go fake like say get that degree there, that kind of person not a better person at all. It tell a lot about the individual. Okay, because as far as me concerned, it takes a lot of work for make you get to that point there. For make you grab without all of that, you go call yourself say you get a PhD. That's very terrible. That's bad. In fact, maybe they suggest say the only reason we make somebody go get a PhD if you want for engage in active research or you want for teach, you want for in academia they teach. Short of that, I believe if you go for tenure, you not publish. If you go for tenure, you not add to any journal. Believe me, for take that degree now you are. Okay, Mike talk about the fact that the school, not only the school in fault. In America now, yeah, we get tier 1 school, tier 2 school, tier 3 school them. Okay, it left to you. If you when you say you want to go law school, you get what's in called LSAT, law school admission exam. That's law school admission exam. You they get anywhere from 120 to 180 at the highest mark, 120 at the lowest mark. If you just go sit down, you write your name, no more commodity, you get 120. If you do well on the LSAT, you get 180. What the 180 they do for you? You could be eligible for LA, you go to Yale, Harvard, John Hopkins, Cornell University. If you get 172, down to 168, then you go to a second tier school. If you get all the way down to about 141, then you go to a 4th tier school, when are then Regent University of Law and things of that nature. So certainly, if you want for go get a degree and you go get degrees on side where you're not accredited, that's your choice. It only means that when you come for competition now for make them actually hire you, I not go left somebody who get Yale, I go take somebody who come on Regent University. I will not do that. So for me, not to politics, it's wrong. It should not be accepted. Certainly, if Mr. Dr. John Lahai, they call people them out, na defamation, na libel, na slander, but defamation, libel, slander, all of them things, and they only become a problem if na lie you lie. If they establish saying that true you they talk, then not a problem. Okay, if I talk about you, I talk bad about you, I talk nasty thing about you. If they go find out not the true, then you can sue me. But if they find out not true, nothing really come inside. You know what I mean? So for me, it is not politics. It is not a president. Madabio will go hire a bad person. Now people themselves one for putting themselves aside and not belong. For God's sake, Frances, if I go introduce you, I talk every nice thing about you. She's eloquent, she's articulate, she's prodigious. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our chair lady of this occasion, Dr. Frances Kamara. Where you come, the first way for do. Thank you very much for a wonderful, enlightening introduction, but I'm not a doctor. That's what you do. That's what decent person they do.
That's true.
So we don't get no problem with that. That's wrong.
That's absolutely true. I like what my brother Ajibu don't say, but again, this degree issue from waiting me to see from my own perspective or where me they see them, nothing we don't happen from the days of generation yet, basically. So we don't get people them we know and very well aware for say the master's degree them or the doctorate degree them we then get, not so credible ones them. Not to degree them way okay for them for use and use that title they, but yet still they use them. So when me not go talk for say Dr. Idris Lahai na lie the lie or not true is say as my friend Ajibu don't say, Mr. Ajibu Jalloh say, if na lie Dr. Lahai the lie, right? Make people then come out and know and sue them. But if not true they talk, then we don't see the evidence where people then they resign from them position them right now in Sierra Leone. People then they where they resign out of waiting they bring come up. Like when my brother MY Doctor look at they call you doctor now MYK.
American doctor and a philosophical doctor.
I know, right?
Accent.
MYK don't say. He said, according to what he said, Dr. Lahai, they do this because he wants. I don't make we talk about Dr. Lahai in this one, right? I want to pull him out of this conversation, but I want to make we actually because thank you for coming, Instagram for Canada program, we'll get for Brian coming for a debate. But I want to make we actually talk a little bit about that before we actually finish this program. MYK say now because of the not agree for given job or he wants job where he not gets now he make he actually they come up with all this. But MYK, you not think for say the Sierra Leone where we dey right now, the Sierra Leone where me and you sabi at this present moment, the Sierra Leone where we all know right now, he actually don't transcend from which Sierra Leone where we be sabi tradi. People lay either open now. So now he make different things, and even the political way where we see now. Trust me, it's not the same way where we do politics before. It's completely different. So right now, Sierra Leone people are either open. So you not think for say, make we forget about party, make we forget about politics as you say, make we pull this out. You not think for say now a good thing Dr. Lahai they do right now for the country of Sierra Leone?
It is a good thing. It is absolutely phenomenal. The only thing that the way they go about them, we're not going to yield any dividend. Because at the end of the day, if you really want for crux, this phony and degree mill, now institutions and get for one, now government. Not a one person individual. You go shame somebody at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Nothing will commodity. You know, but if like institutions and come in place, the Tertiary Institution Commission, the government of Sierra Leone, the Tertiary Ministry of Tertiary Education, all them police, all them structures, and they come in place, then put laws and follow them. That is it. And I want to let you understand. I mean, brother Agibu mention something we're very salient. Where I just want to throw lights on. Ajibu make a mention of say where it's incumbent on the people them way want to go to any university for check for the accreditation, university accreditation, and all that. I agree with them, perfectly correct. But I want my brother also understand says like people don't have these tools in Sierra Leone, Agibu. They don't. There is connectivity issues. Do we even have a hub? I don't know, maybe you know that. But do we even have a hub in Sierra Leone? From the Tertiary Institution Commission, wherein it highlights the universities, institutions in Sierra Leone where accredited. Something when we go online and check and see, say, oh, Jalloh is accredited. Oh, this university. We don't. Some of we go universities in other countries now because we see people in the graduate commodity. I never checked whether Jalloh was accredited. I just from my high school days, I went to Now this I want do, now this I want follow up, I do. You know, I went to Legon University. I'm never checked back for see if Legon was accredited because reputable as here. Sometimes we go by reviews and all things. So this is why I'm saying our system is broken, Agibu. Our system is rotten, Francis. There is a lot of things that will go wrong after the years we will not fix or not pay attention to. You understand what I'm saying? It is good someone has brought this up. But my only question when we get to them, why? Why now? Where so much damage not already caused? If you be no length in there, why you not be don't start long ahead? Why for not help? Why you not decide for take job at the Tertiary Education Commission for really root them things they are out? Why you wanted a job as a policy director of policy in a state house? Me question back if they me get a job, who for you read this? If it happen, some motives important here also. But like you say, I don't want us to focus on John. He's not the. He's doing a good job. I just say I respect him as an individual. I don't just like the way they go about it, body shaming people, because at the end of the day, the tertiary institution on pull word nado, Tertiary Education Commission on pull word nado, Ministry of Education on pull word nado say all the people that will get them degrees there, they're not for getting a job. And if anybody be use that degree there for attend a position, if or resign, like you rightly said, we are seeing people who are resigning. So that is what the country should take. That is the right step. But body shaming people, these people get families, then get children, then get wives, then get picking. I don't really think that's the way to go about it. Francis, I will give you a statistics here in America. Agibu agree with me. It is our what is 4th degree thing there? I was checking it. Francis, you have over 50,000 fake PhDs in America. There are more fake PhDs in America than people who legitimately have PhDs in America. Check it. The legitimate owners of PhDs here in America is about 44,000. The funny fake degrees of people with fake degrees is over 50,000 here.
So are you trying to justify, MIK, are you trying to justify the fake degree holders them of Sierra Leone, like the police chief where the Dr. Lahai say, according to Dr. Lahai, like the police chief, are you trying to justify now for say people in the America we get fake degree? So that means to say Sierra Leone fake degree issue,
no,
it's okay?
No, don't put word on my mouth. I just criticize Yusuf, I they talk so like then okay. The interview me with other platform. I went so incredible institution and my degrees credibly. I will never support any phony degree. That's not my point. But I just lay a premise say this is a national concern. It's a national security issue where a lot of countries then they suffer from. Recently, we had a funny degree scam in London. UK also come out every day. 3-4 weeks ago, in America, and they just give them statistics here for let you know say this is the way they happen all over. It's not peculiar to SLPP government. It's not peculiar to APC government. It's not peculiar to Sierra Leone. But now we as former items of education, where people respect West Africa, we should do something about it.
Yes, we have to.
The government should do something about it. We all, me and you know, for criticize, me and you know, for politicize this. Yeah. I hate when people that go say, yes, people are so fake degree, all that. No, I don't want that. Now we talk about the fake degrees. A man and they don't get fake degree as alone. We not forget woke.
Yeah.
Now we not begin politicize them, say APC, I'm APC man. Because if I want, I will go back and track APC ministers and former ministers and start
because it has been happening for a very long time.
That. Yeah. Then it takes away the merits of waiting with the tribe for discuss here. So let's narrow the debate on this is a national security issue. How are we going to solve this as a country?
Solve the problem. Absolutely. That was the next question we're going to ask. But before I go there, we get a call another line. Where this now we very last caller. I know if I say this 007, they try for call in, but we'll be all be the talk. But we go take this for the very last caller. Caller, what's the call from and what's now your name? Hello, hi. What's the call from and what's now your name?
I come from Australia.
Yes, sir. What's now your name, sir?
I'm Peter James. I come from Australia.
Yes, sir. And what's now your contribution today?
Yeah, I just also talk to the big Sierra Leone. The issue with my mention about saying institutions and then therefore make laws or for change within wouldn't go for happen is that some of these institutions are already implicated. For example, he mentioned about the police. The head of the police, IG, is already been alleged to get a fake degree. How that go? How you expect the police or really take that mantle? You understand? So for me, the issue the way Dr. Lai, they think I'm up, that is simple. And I think the government don't take this thing seriously. But for me, they need to take it seriously. And secondly, the Parliamentary is another institution. We need to take it seriously. There are people also their way already, they're already implicated. You understand? Parentarily, we alleged to be having a good degree. Another guy called him Ma also is alleged to have a fake degree. So how do you expect when people in those institutions? You understand? So for me, I don't want to just say yes, I'll get the institutions go to, but some big institutions are already, and it seems as if the government not really they play a lip service to the whole issue. So if the guy they name and shame people on social media, obviously they get the equal rights. If not false information and they put out there, and the money get it put out there, they can get the right for me to sue on the court. You understand?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate them. Thank you very much, sir. So this now we call a back way call where they talk about the fake degree issue. I see Ajibu Jalloh, they actually look over there very keenly with what you get for say. Make we listen to you, Ajibu.
Yes, I think to say, if you listen to the Minister of Tertiary Education after they get the press conference, he adequately and properly recommend waiting for happen. So I believe say the government really and truly don't handle this properly.
Okay,
because it gives stringent measures and waiting for happen, and it was clear to say this will not be tolerated. Because for God's sake, if you get people them we're not properly qualified, then you'll have trouble.
yeah.
Mr. Mike Berewa, a health professional, if not be fake accreditation he gets, then he go kill person.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it gets standards then way for expect, it get license where not only the degree, but it get for don't forget license. With that license there, every so often it get for go recertify for make sure say it up to date with what's happen. That continuous education will not for make joke down there at all, especially in a country where we come on, we need ulti. No joke panande. Having said that, we talk about the police. It's rather unfortunate that the police chief, the first degree in a Clement University, come on, fake. Then I don't know about masters for him, but I know about one PhD from Dominion where he rejects. Then another one from African University where all find out say. But under those circumstances, I guess it ain't at the end of the road now. Again, 1 year for retire, maybe less than that. So maybe you look the other way, and agree with Mike what Mike say. Some people just want to acquire an education, and now their university had them present before them, and they not get away for check. But at the end of the day, going forward, people should make effort for check and make sure say the university where they go are accredited. So man do I'm knowing fully well for saying a fake degree. This issue of having PhDs na salon, having double master's salon, not make sense to me at all. Why this lady where they na the chairman of the board na NRA, you na lawyer, you have a terminal degree. What you defend with PhD? If you know how to teach, what you need till they go disgrace you? It's confusing for me. No, but I don't understand them. You get law degree, a law degree now, a terminal degree, just like doctor, now terminal degree. You are a professional. A PhD, now an academic degree. What you go see, don't you go get down and go call up for waiting. You have something that is just as big. The issue of parental in a parliament, of course, that's a joke. I mean, a young man way really and truly, I don't know why he got himself into that, but it makes no sense. And I believe, say, Numa, the leader of government business. In fact, I mean, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Not a lawyer.
Yeah, he is.
Then you start to confuse. You confuse. If you're not a lawyer, you have a terminal degree. It's a professional degree. What you do go fend with PhD? What you want to do with academic degree? You want box up and mix up all thing? The double masters na salary so boku in kind of the what you defend double masters for? For what? It makes no sense. But if fine that it happened now, people then go shape up. It go take some time. Make we clean the system. And then we go continue. If find that it happened, at some point we'll get for start somewhere for clean the system. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely true. I agree with you right there. To me, I think it's a good thing. That's one of the reasons I believe it's a good thing where Dr. Idris Lahai started. Because at the end of the day, we think for say, maybe in a malicious way, that's what a lot of people are thinking. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing where somebody start them. Because in Sierra Leone, it's too much. And as Ajibu, my brother say, if right now, people the way they actually rule the country, right? All of them get fake degree. Well, I wouldn't say all, majority of them get fake degree and not really qualify. I'm not saying just this government, MYK. The previous government was the same thing. The previous administration.
Don't be.
No, 1 second, please. MYK, let me land, please. The previous administration was the same thing. We only see them now because it has been brought to light this administration. But even the previous administration, when you go back, you check the Dominion University, you check all the board of director, whatever, then degree the way that we don't see. You see, for say it even affect the previous administration. But it's unfortunate or fortunate enough for some of us where it's bringing, when the brand come now to light. So if God don't help we, then the brand come to light now, right? Waiting at the measure them where you think for say, in your own opinion, MYK, where government can take right now for make this not go happen to the future generation them where they come up. Because it don't happen now. We see them all over the place. It's there. We don't even know the one the way that the bring come up now. So wait till you think for say it will be good for the future generation.
The first thing is government have to be very intentional about it. I get for take them very serious, and which I know this government don't take them very serious. The Minister of Tertiary Institution, when a Honorable Alpha Wuri, when a man instead na educationist, na a doctor, we get a reputable reputation as Sierra Leone, don't pull the measures them way people for taking place, and he's very serious about it. He's very firm about it, and then but it's also incumbent on all of us as Sierra Leoneans. One, like how Agibu say. One, now, every university where you want to go, any institution where you want to go, make sure say that institution is credible. I mean, it's incumbent on you as an individual now. First 10 people will not be getting awareness for do all that. But now it's incumbent on you as an individual. Then it's also incumbent on the Tertiary Institution Commission for make sure say the universities there where they come like salon. Let them not give them authorization. Let them not allow them for even operate. Because to start with, me saying here, there are people who are scammed. What about the people who just focus on the PhD? But this St. Clements, now they even Christian at top, now they go. So not until they start. Passing when a former Minister of Education, now they get indoctrinating from St. Clements. So this is why don't roll back all along. So that is why
I think St. Clement be only give first degree, they not be give doctorate. Now first degree no where they be.
They give honorary doctorates, bro.
Mike, the honorary degree, that one day person they go get honorary degree or they give honorary degree because they want curry favor from you.
Yeah, but not from a fake university. That's what I'm saying. The point is, even if it's honorary,
it's just saying a fake person.
No, but honorary say an honorary for come out from a reputable institution.
Exactly. So
right, if I come out from an honorary reputable institution,
if you come to me for campaign. The man the way they be you na drug addict a man native man na they clap for you. Versus me, I come with people when I judges them, na minister na big people. That they go look. Na me them go look. So if you choose for go get honorary degree in a fake place, now you want a man they behind you. That's your own reputation.
So the point we to raise here is: can you imagine that, Francis? This is one thing we take notice of na Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans, majority of us are very ill informed. We are not competitive, even though we don't come in countries there. We are not even competitive.
It's true.
Like other countries them. Even when you find out like businesses them all they do, we events them all they host, you know what I mean? You don't see much of a class, you don't see much of an organized something. So we did bien Pabokutin. Because if you can imagine US back, Christian Atop with all in pedigree, political pedigree in Sierra Leone, not go able to see and sit down and look for university when accredited, then get an honorary degree, go to Mapi where the guy in Ula and begin calling Dr. Christian Atop all over Sierra Leone. It tells you as a country back who we are. It tells you as a country who we are. In a country wherein you have only 4% of people where get internet connectivity. 4% of Sierra Leoneans are connected to the grid on a daily basis. With internet connectivity, not a lot of people. What about the people that were the upline? So let's go back on the drawing board. Everything is salon rotting. I can always ask me brother them like Agibu them, APC people them, what they, like when Agibu they say APC did this, it was better. And they ask them this question, say, if APC will not power for 11 years, 10 years, will not able to left sustainable electricity inside the city. We are not able to left pure drinking water inside the city.
Are you kidding me?
Now we forget about upline. Yes, sustainable electricity.
Wait. What are you talking about?
Because when you talk about sustainable, when you talk about
Where 24-hour lighting,
when you talk about
where 24-hour lighting, McKinney?
Hold on, Agibu. When you talk about something sustainable, you don't able to pull them. You're not gonna tell me say
no, you can pull them.
Hold on, I can't cut. No, listen. Forget ship na water, na sustainable thing and forget ship for the supply. Why would I not finish?
I don't believe what you
Why? No, it's true.
They supply 60% of the electricity in a salon, and then Black Hole and Kington.
But it's still not done. What I'm saying, it's still not done. I am saying
up until the time where the administration, the current administration of Gambia have sustainable electricity. What we have now is epileptic.
No,
but it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. You still get sustainable light.
When a development is
who stay here, he post in sell ice na treat. Who stay here, post in go charge telephone. You see all that day again. Who stay here, go about tiger.
No, listen.
That was all part of the past.
When development is sustainable, let me tell you what is a sustainable development. I can tell you after the war, what the war done, you are aware about this, the government of Sierra Leone by the late President Kaba, then write out in a PRSP paper. Blessed memory. The poverty reduction strategy paper. That paper they get 7 pillars. Which are the needs? It starts with family reunification and reintegration.
It's like you guys are going beyond now from the fake degree.
No. I just want to let me premise.
I give you just 5 minutes for the debate, then I'm gonna end it.
Okay. When blessed memory President Kabakin, what did he do? They brought NRA, National Revenue Authority. They brought NACIT. They brought decentralization. They brought institutions that these institutions, even any government will come, they will break these institutions. That is what we call sustainable development. When President Koroma make roads, whether roads and then are tangible roads where they go to certain areas, what this government can, and not able to dig them road and they come out.
Well, Wilkins not still there. Sport not still there. You come on after you go Guinea inside 5 hours. You be able to go Kailan before now.
The Wilkins
inside 4 hours.
The Wilkins
don't say that.
The Wilkins got expensive.
It doesn't matter. Forget about the expensive. The fact you talk about sustainability. Is Wilkins not still there 5 hours after 5 years after our left election? Can't you now drive to go in 3.5 hours?
It is not sustainable.
Can't you drive to Guinea and come back within the same day?
It is not sustainable because
how is it not sustainable?
Okay, now they explain to you now, if you're listening. When rains come in Freetown, that whole place
the road they lost.
because it was.
You guys got 3 more minutes.
People understand.
No, the road they become flooded. The road they become flooded because SLPP people them they put dirty inside gutter. SLPP people them they put plastic.
So now
because
SLPP people they Freetown now.
Because APC policy they put on APC policy they put on a trash can. They dispose of in garbage in a trash can. SLPP policy they throw away plastic na ground in this down. But you
for sabotage
indeed, Partijan Kaba, Giwi, institution them will help we for develop Salon and certainly with President Koroma come a billionaire institution today. Let God bless Pakaba. Pakaba really sets we up for progress in that country. You talked about something that is very, very salient.
But when you came, when your government came
and strengthen them.
But when your governments came, you ended up with austerity, bro. Everything
would I declare austerity? Now you say so.
Okay, in a 5 minutes to get up. Your 5 minutes is up now.
You were the
Unfortunately, MYK and Ajibu, your 5 minutes is up.
Expenditure rationalization.
Unfortunately,
after Ebola, things were very difficult. The economy contracted by 21%, and what we did, we say, you know what, we cannot continue spending like this. So make we engage in expenditure rationalization.
You can't compare
for revive the economy.
You can't compare Ebola and COVID. You can't compare Ebola and COVID.
No, me not say run in the fence side for high. What talk once you came and go that I left for compare.
Your 5 minutes is up. Can I say something, please? Your 5 minutes is up. And now we don't did at the screen for too long. We've actually talked a little bit of the debate with the fake education. When that's something where I got for bring come back to with people them. But I just before we go right now, I just want to remember we family them for say this now in a girl the Calabash princess and this network now for we all now for Sierra Leonean them and non-Sierra Leoneans them. So do you not forget for press subscribe button at the network so that anytime where we come live. Trust me, I come with educational programs them for we all. Because me, I believe sharing is learning, learning is sharing. And we only the learn through where we all share ideas. That is the only way I believe for Sierra Leone go develop and we go develop as people. Because today we don't call learn from me two brothers them. I can call them me man them. When na Facebook vuvuzela them for APC and SLPP. And then get very, very diverse and great knowledge about them party them. So this program where we bring cancer in today, not of us say we come for hurt anybody or say anything intentionally for offend anybody. And I just want to clarify, if I don't say anything for offend you all, I'm very sorry about it. But this not just a program for make we all learn and make we share ideas them. But before we go, because me Adika left now, because I don't see them on screen for too long. But before we go, I want to make me husband them, me papa them, me uncle them where I gonna screen here so today, right? Make them actually give me the last word to fumble them. And I they strictly limit them to 2 minutes. So we go start with MYK. MYK, waiting your last word to fumble them and waiting you want to say to everybody where they watch this program today.
All I get to say is Sierra Leone go through a crossroad. Things are hard all over in the world. It's not peculiar to Sierra Leone. But one of the things I want to tell people here, let them listen me very clearly, say the president who gets on a president, Julius Madabio, leads from the heart. He know about the challenges they are face as a country. We're on the right track to economic recovery. With trajectory, with policies, not the right policies, the way Salon need for let this country go before. We will get there. No sign of them at the world right now, things are better. Things are hard everywhere. Even in America here, you have millions of people who know the work. You go to London, you have millions of people who know the work. You come, baby formula as them, not in our shelves again, for let picking and eat in America. The gas prices have hiked up. So if you look at Sierra Leone, when I do not live in country where we're not able to import anything, it's hard. But you can't take this away from the president and say, don't try. We're not to get shortages. We're not to take overdraft a bank for pay people. Would they pay people them? Salaries are paid. People, workers have been paid. There has been a 30% increment in salaries where don't come for civil servants them in just 4 years. So this is good. Rural electrification, we don't take them back to the upline people. Them both can get sustainable light. The rural electrification project with solar grids and then achieve them headquarter towns. So this is also progress. We are not there as a country. We are not even halfway a country, but we are intentional. We are ready. we want to change the narratives in that country day. And the president is determined. So I want to let everybody support him, let everybody believe in him. And we are not worried about re-electing him as a president. We know say he's going to rule again next term. And we know say he get to unfold all the developments and we'll get to see alone. Thank you very much, Francis. And thank you, Agibu, for having me here at this platform.
Thank you so much, MYK. This is my brother, we husband, and we papa, because I get picky now. And we Facebook with Vuvuzela. Ask me they call him for SLPP. So make a come next to me brother when at the APC Vuvuzela as well on Facebook and social media. Make we are waiting inside for say to fumble them, please. Uncle Ajibu, this is not your time, 2 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Let God bless we all. Let God bless Sierra Leone. We talk about democracy. Democracy now for the people and by the people. And the people of Sierra Leone must understand, say, democracy they at the hand. Then get a choice for make as to waiting good for them. This administration come into office telling us that they know waiting a Sierra Leone problem and it will be fixed in 6 months. You tell me how we did elect today. This administration come into office and talk about, say, forget the big English, forget about all other things. Now we talk about bread and butter issue. Yes, yabas, pepper, pamine, adane will fix so people are able to afford them. You look into your life now and tell me if the price of them commodity in the don't go lower or you don't go higher. Me go tell you, say, they've gone higher, they continue to be higher, they will continue to go higher. Look at the peace in the country. Down in Odi, we see them kill people them. Now Makeni for sake generator. Why we need for kill person for that? We see the massacre way up in Atumbu. We see the massacre way up in Alonsar. The heavy-handedness with which the police did move. Then even more serious, we see a jail massacre, not prison. But at least we forget an opportunity for really what happened. There should be an investigation. What happened? Almost person died. What make them die? Nobody not talking nothing. Even though the vice president promised, we say within 2 weeks you will get an information. Then assemble people them for actually do the investigation. We not get nothing. We see an auditor general where they for make sure say government they do the right thing and advise government. When it talk about the fact that serious corruption that happened within this governance structure, then try and pull and come on office. Then pull and come on office, but still they get salary. I spend they spend money so unnecessarily. They don't put a tribunal together. We're supposed for investigate what's in human. They do 30 days the tribunal able for go before never go BM because 8 no day, 10 no day. So me, they ask people them, make them look at the corruption level at the Sierra. Make them look at their life in general and make a decision as to whether this government will be promised them new direction, that the right thing for them. I could tell you say not to the right thing. Not to body you do, politics not to sorry they sorry for posting. 2023 where election come, vote the SLPP out. Vote them out. Then come na office for make your life better. If they complain, no more complain about APC today. If they talk about Ukraine and whatnot and so on and Russia, vote them out. The worst APC better pass any SLPP. I will tell you that for free.
Thank you very much, Ajibu Jalloh. The closing statements make I just laugh. When I see those are they to MYK. I know for saying I to MYK if you get in power, I come back on the screen. He want to answer, but unfortunately, he don't give me closing statement. I will just like make us see him face them small.
Probably that was staged.
It was never I swear to you. Now we can bring
so you go enjoy.
Mike never see this to amaze me.
So you go watch.
Mike never see this to amaze me. So the current stage the census. The current stage the census. The stage is also back. Lord have mercy.
Mike don't talk here. And then I get Ajibu for talking. And Ajibu come. He can't talk here. And I was like, okay. And I watch Mike in face. He told me for say, listen, girl, I want to say something else. But unfortunately, he's giving his closing remarks. Thank you so much to everyone we watched today. I really, really appreciate all of you now. And this now, girl Francisca, as I said, this now we all young. Make we come together for make we say alone. See me. I can come on Facebook and talk whatever I want for say what be then on my page. People like can think say, oh, she's this, she's that. Yes, I used to be biased. I used to get a political party. But the way Sierra Leone they go within the past 10 years, and then we come again within the past 5 years, I decided and take upon me own for be very neutral, not for support any political party right now. Not that I'm not going to support a political party in the future, but at this moment, I not see nothing where go make me as Frances say I want choose this party or choose that party over that party. Because what make for I say so, the country where we so now in Sierra Leone, every single thing where we they talk or every single thing where we they say na politics, everything and don't politicize them. If you want to buy something that's in a politics, and this party goes in that party, to me it's like the APC not able for the opposition and the SLPP not able for maintain themselves right now. So I don't really know. So it's better for me to be neutral, and even the NGC where I'll be the support together, and I see nothing where they come out of it right now. So to me personally, Frances, I'm very, very neutral. And they come out and say it again. I want to make people that make their own decision with the term reach. And please, the one that we're in Sierra Leone, I thank you now all when I pick up the phone and phone today. And me call away now 007. I'm sorry I never for pick up your call because you see where the debates they go on, they're not able for really like interact very much with phone calls them. So please me fumble them. You not get up, you not register for vote where it's reach. You not vote for Uda in a thing for say right for the country. You not vote for Uda in a thing for say go able for camp for can help the picking them. We go and change things for Sierra Leone. If you not think for say the president SLPP party, well, you not keep them there. Because if you not think that they do right for you now, you not keep them there. But if you not think for saying that the APC we're not able for them opposition, you not bring them come back inside. If you not think for say Salon need fresh face, please, you not forget for bring that fresh face they can inside. But whoever you know they bring come inside 2023, you now make sure for say now somebody where they can help the country for go before, not to somebody where they can disgrace the country backward. And as I say, this now in a girl, the Calabash princess. As I said, another joint for politics. But when you think about it, politics now for we all. Politics now ain't go able for make we all go before. My body can crash and say then they want talk, but I say no, keep quiet. This program now, yeah, I'm gonna bring and cancel you now from time to time. So from time to time, I can able forget a couple of Vuvuzela then bring and come for debate. If anybody there no try no bar, na me paddy, na me darling, no they talk on Facebook. Please. You not call out for me. Tell us the Calabash Princess one time at this program. Yes, so they wait for him. And I one time asked a debate. And if anybody not for say able for stand trying about with a debate, please don't forget for inbox me. Call me number and just let me know. That one debate Sunday what they wait for. I love you now all. And have a blessed weekend. And you know, have a blessed day. I love you all. Till next time again, this time in a Calabash Princess Francisca.